All right. Toastmaster Mufaddal, can you open the meeting? Yeah.
If you wish, can you
Okay, fine. Let me open the meeting. All right. So, welcome everyone to 1044th meeting of Karachi Toastmasters Club. Sincerely grateful that all of you could join us today. And as the de facto, or no, sorry, acting Sergeant at Arms, because actual Sergeant at Arms is here. I'll just go through some ground rules that we have for Karachi Toastmasters Club meetings. First of all, you're all encouraged to turn on your videos and turn off your microphones. And that is true for even in-person participants, because you're supposed to be there, but mute, unless it's your turn to speak. Secondly, we are live streaming this meeting. If you don't wish to be live streaming is for recording purposes only. If you don't wish to be recorded, then let us know in advance so that we can suspend the live streaming for you. Thirdly, we volunteer not to talk about three topics: sex, religion, and politics. Also, we refrain from criticizing any individual, any group of people, any race, gender, religion, country, anything that can cause pain and suffering or emotional turmoil in anyone. So with that, it is so lucky that our president is not here today. He is actually preparing for an exam. So conveniently, I am the acting president, and that means I don't have to hand it over to anyone else. So I welcome you all as president now, acting president, Karachi Toastmasters Club. And we have a host of guests today online. So I would ask all of you one by one to introduce yourself. And Toastmaster Deanna McEnroy, she is just like a member for us, but please put your introduction in the chat box so that others can read. Meanwhile, let's start with Toastmaster Ricky Su. Please introduce yourself.
Why can't we have screen in the middle?
I'm Mr. Toastmaster.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Mr. ChatGPT. My name is Yuki from Malaysia. I'm a curious soul. I found this meeting online on Facebook. That's why I'm here. I have some background on AI also. I'm coming here to learn. Thank you.
That's great. That's great. So we are more likely to learn from you. Next, we have Toastmaster Amhar Raleen. Please correct my pronunciation and introduce yourself.
Hi, Karachi Toastmasters club members and guests. So I'm Toastmaster Amhar Raleen from capital Toastmasters, all the way from Sri Lanka. So when I saw the post with the theme AI and ChatGPT and relevant AI-based applications on Facebook, so that got my attention, and I wanted to join and see what is really going to happen in the meeting. So I'm excited. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. Back to you, sir.
Thank you so much joining us all the way from Sri Lanka. And believe us, we are as curious as you are about what will actually happen in the meeting. Let's find out together. Next, we have distinguished Toastmaster Ahmed Abdullah from Lahore. Please introduce yourself, Ahmed.
Hi, guys. Hi. I'm from Lahore, and I'm from Say Global Toast Masters Club. This is the 4th club in the world and the 1st club in Asia for people having speech issues like stammering, and for people with social anxiety and phobia. And I'm glad to be part of this meeting. And Karachi Toastmasters Club is like a second home to me, and I'm glad to be here. Thank you.
Thank you so much, DT and Ahmed. Nice to have you. And yeah, so today we all have anxiety because artificial intelligence is, seems to be taking over the world. Today we'll find out whether to what extent that is true. It will be an interesting experiment. Next, we have Hui Chin Wu, and please correct my pronunciation and apologies for that, and introduce yourself.
Thank you, Toastmasters of the evening. I'm Hui Chin from Malaysia as well, from District 102. I'm also curious about AI and the rise of machines. So I was attracted by the theme tonight, and I'd like to know more. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us. And finally, I will just go through a few business announcements, because that is something that AI still cannot do, since it doesn't know what happened in our last meeting, at least yet. So unfortunately, that has to be done by humans. So our last meeting was a really historic one. And why is that? Because we achieved 8 projects and 4 table topic speeches. We had 10 guests, and all of that happened in 2 hours and 53 minutes. And there was no cheating because timing was kept very strictly. So yes, it was actually 2 hours and 53 minutes. And in our last meeting, the winners were: Best Speaker went to Toastmaster Mohammad Asghar. Best Big Four went to Toastmaster Hina Ali and Toastmaster Elvin. Both were tied. Best Evaluator went to myself. And Best Facilitator also went for myself. And that's also why it's my favorite meeting, because after years, my home club has voted for me. Best Table Topics was won by Toastmaster Kadir Ansari and Toastmaster Mariam. Again, a tie. It was a meeting of ties. Critics' Choice Awards, 3rd place once again was tied between Toastmaster Fahim Razak and Toastmaster Elvin Faraz. 2nd place by Toastmaster Naveed Aslam, and 1st by Toastmaster Mohammad Asghar. Another milestone in the last meeting was that Toastmaster Naveed Aslam completed his 2nd path. There are no significant business announcements, and there is nothing reportable. No decisions have been taken by executive committee in the intervening period that needs to be approved by the members. And of course, executive committee will meet and make a decision if it will meet, and it did not meet. So all of you are spared from a bunch of voting. And now, of course, we hand over the charge to our Toastmaster of the day, which is ChatGPT. And how it will work? It turns out that artificial intelligence is artificial because it needs to be prompted. And I will be the one providing prompts to it, and it will be then introducing everyone. So what is ChatGPT? ChatGPT, in the simplest forms, is an artificial intelligence powered chatbot. And it is one of the many applications of artificial intelligence that have exploded over the past few months. In fact, it is more like weeks, and that is the incredible part, because about 5-6 weeks ago, none of us, hardly any of us, had heard of ChatGPT, and now it is something that hardly any of us can escape. So without further ado, we are handing over the charge to the ChatGPT. And of course, ChatGPT cannot be seen, it can only be heard. So please make sure that you're hearing ChatGPT. If you can't, please report immediately.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Karachi Toastmasters Club, meeting number 1044. Today's theme is Rise of the Machines, and as the theme suggests, our focus for the evening will be artificial intelligence. But wait, there's more. I have a surprise for all of you. Today's Toastmaster of the day will not be a human, but instead, it will be the very AI that we are discussing, ChatGPT. Now let's dive into the segments of the meeting. We will start with the education segment, where our members will deliver their prepared speeches on the topic of artificial intelligence. Next up is the table topics segment, where participants will engage in impromptu speaking. They will be given a prompt related to AI and they will have to speak on it off the cuff. Last but not least, we have the evaluation segment, where members will give feedback on the speeches delivered in the education segment. Here, participants will get a chance to hone their evaluation skills and provide constructive feedback to their peers. And just to add a little extra flavor to the meeting, I'll sprinkle in a few references to the word iota. An iota of effort can go a long way in making our speeches and evaluations more effective. Let's not underestimate the power of even the smallest iota of effort in our personal and professional growth.
All right. It seems ChatGPT has fallen victim to its own popularity because right now it's reporting that it's leaving under network traffic. So there you have the limitations of AI, at least currently. But we'll quickly go through the role players. In our club, it is a custom when we have a heavy agenda. We quickly go through the role players and we don't call them one by one. Instead, we just introduce their role. So, grammarian and word master of the day is Toastmaster Elvin Faraz, and his job will be to highlight good usage and grammatical errors committed during the meeting. And he's also in charge of the word of the day. Word of the day is iota. So, Toastmaster Elvin, you are allowed to introduce the word iota.
Thank you so much. Half of the job is done by you and so gracefully. Hello, everyone. My name is Alvin and I will be your grammarian today. And let me introduce the word of the day again. It is iota. A special announcement. I will also be looking for and giving special marks to anyone who can use any idiomatic phrase or some fancy use of words, including the theme machines, right? You can say something like pull the plug, you can say bells and whistles or blow a fuse, and that will be given a special consideration and special announcement. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Elvin Faraz. Now we have the role of the timer, and that timer role will be introduced by ChatGPT because it has regained its breath a bit.
The role of a timer in Toastmasters is to accurately track the time during speeches and other meeting activities. The timer ensures that speakers adhere to the designated speaking time limit, allowing for equal opportunities for all members to participate. Toastmaster Faison will be using a screen and lights to keep track of the timing, ensuring that speakers are aware of the time remaining for their speeches. This is an important role as it helps to maintain the structure and flow of the meeting, allowing for an efficient and productive use of time. The role of an accounter in Toastmasters is to monitor the use of filler words, such as and like, by speakers during meetings. The accounter provides feedback to speakers on their use of filler words, helping them to become more aware of this habit and to eliminate it in their speaking. Toastmaster Musa will be serving as the accounter, utilizing his skills and attention to detail to provide accurate and helpful feedback to members. This role helps members to become more polished and confident speakers, contributing to the overall goal of improving communication skills in the club.
All right, we've asked ChatGPT to tell us a joke because we don't have a joke master. So here it goes.
Sure. Here's a clean joke for you. As the joke master, I present to you this classic joke. Why did the tomato turn red? because it saw the salad dressing. Hope it brings a smile to your face.
All right, I asked it for a clean joke actually. So yeah. All right. All right. Now we are moving on to our education session. And of course, but before that, there's a vote counter. I will be the vote counter for today. During 5 different occasions in the meeting, you'll be asked to vote. And the vote will be carried through Google Forms. So the voting will be done for the best speaker, best evaluator, best table topics, best big 4, and best facilitator. There will also be a critics' choice voting for top 3 speakers in terms of international speech contest ballot. So now we move on to the education session, and our first speaker will be introduced by ChatGPT. His evaluator is Toastmaster Mufaddal, so he is on standby. The speaker, yeah, he's right here.
It's my pleasure to introduce our first speaker of the prepared speeches session, Toastmaster Faison Zapper. Toastmaster Zapper will be delivering a speech with purpose, showcasing his skills as a public speaker and communicator. His speech will be thoughtfully crafted and structured, with a clear message and well-defined objective. As the audience, we can expect to be engaged, inspired, and entertained by Toastmaster Zapper's speech. Let's give a warm round of applause for our first speaker, Toastmaster Faison Zapper.
I'm grateful I have invited the second speech here, and today my topic is habit in my life. Actually, habit is play a big role in our lives, and therefore we need to focus on it. And normally we the habits. Initially I introduced habits. So what is habits? It is a routine of behavior, which is repeatedly actions make us to do automatically things. And in life, we make a habits of anything, we can move further easily. We have noticed some of people who are more successful as compared than others. Main reason behind that is successful habits. Even same family members have not achieved same goals because of difference of habits. So main thing is there is a habits play an important role. I give an example on this thing where one person A and B, and A have normal example in life, normal routine life, like the toothbrush, drive the car, they use the phones. So he does automatically it functions. He doesn't know how it is happening. But sometimes the people who don't aware about gadgets, so he faces difficulty and he needs to think about it, and he takes time to perform that thing. Normally, a lot of things in personal life, when we live in personal life and we see things, a lot of people are well dressed, well communicated, well speaking power, look good, and don't need making efforts, don't think about it. But as compared to B persons who make a thinking, first he have a cue, I need to be take a good dress, and I look good, and then he also puts himself to be look better in life. The main thing is that the life is depend on it. A lot of our professional life is also, and we think a lot of people have good Excel skill, he do automatically a lot of things. He don't use mouth. He uses shortcuts, and he perform a lot of presentations on different platforms. So he don't need to take a time a lot of to perform same things as compared to be a person who take a major time on that things. Like in a professional things, like in a sportsmen, so they perform automatically their functions, even they don't know. They play a lot of shots, even they don't know how to they play. So in life, I think that if we develop a successful habit in life, so our life become more successful as compared to other. So I have categorized in my life in 3 portions, and so will help us understand habits very clearly. I started at the beginning of the year, the 1 to 5 years is a very nominal year, so you cannot think about it because this is about gifted time. So you do as you and mind. So I start when 15 to 13 in my life. I categorize my life in 3 portions, 5 to 13, 13 to 21, and 21 to 29 is I think about that portion. The first initial phase of my life from 5 to 13 is a very difficult time for me because I am not good interactive persons. I introvert my personality. I have a not good communication skills, not friendly. Therefore, I suffer a lot of things. I will not make a good friends. I'm not good in schools. I couldn't participate in secular activities in schools. So, but I get also advantage of this, absence of these habits. Like that, people don't hope on me. They don't push me to participate in any activities, and they don't put my family to go in big occasions. So I live the life as I want. And second phase of my life is that I've seen 30 to 21. So that time is a very crucial time, and that time I haven't done as intellectual skills as well. I have not understood ability better way. So I have faced a lot of difficulties during my examinations. I couldn't pass the paper in a way I should be because I put a lot of time on in studies. I invest a lot of time in studies, so I cannot pass the paper as I've studied because of the lot of skills. I have not well disciplined. I have not understanding skills. I have not intellectual skills. So therefore, I also fail in sports. Like I cannot play good cricket, good sports. Even I give a time on that occasions. Same thing, I get benefit of it. When I don't have these things, so I have become hard worker, and I have put to keep going on. Don't withdraw anything. So this benefit I gain from that things. And after the 21 to 29 period is a very crucial period of my life, and I've faced success because initially I don't understand the life, what habits and what is how to play. Because we grow as we go. We don't think about habits can be changed and habit can play roles. So at that time of life, I think about the habit. A lot of things I do on habits. Initially, I have faced a lot of difficulties because I don't have a work-life balance. I have no good self-discipline, self-realizations, and self-esteem. Therefore, I suffer in the papers. I work a lot, study less. So I suffer in papers, same things. And I have a trust issues emotionally. I weak. So I believe on the people's. I will become loyal with people instead of me. So that is very difficult for me on that time. But instead, sometimes I have learned these things. So how can I be self-disciplined? How can I be humble? How can I work balance life? So I think the habit is a very crucial part of the life, and even we need to focus on it from beginning. In beginning age, our parents is very responsible for these activities. You look after their children during 5 to 13 to build better habits on their children. And when we are 13 to 21, the teachers, friends, and our relatives should play the role of good. They understand us and give us feedback, constructive positive feedback, and motivate us to do things we should be doing. And last one is that, and after the 21 to 29, we should also be need to rely on self, to better human. So that is why I think that for successful people, we need to work on the habit. Time is not a big issue. So let us start today to make better habits. Thank you.
7 minutes, 15 seconds.
It's my pleasure to introduce our next speaker, Toastmaster Alvin Faraz, who will be presenting his project, Prepare to Speak Professionally. In this project, Toastmaster Faraz will be exploring the topic of, is English really tough? He will be discussing the challenges faced by speakers of the English language and offering tips and strategies for speaking more professionally. The speech will be approximately 18 to 22 minutes in length, allowing Toastmaster Faraz to delve into the subject matter in depth and provide valuable insights and information for the audience. As a keynote speech, this presentation is an opportunity for Toastmaster Faraz to demonstrate his expertise and captivate the audience with an engaging and informative message. Keynotes are often the highlight of a meeting or event and set the tone for the rest of the program. We can expect Toastmaster Faraz's keynote to be well-researched, thought-provoking, and entertaining. Let's give a warm welcome to Toastmaster Alvin Faraz.
Thank you so much, ChatGPT, for this wonderful introduction. It felt almost like a small speech. TTM Talha, can you please put the timer there with me?
Yeah, just give me a second. I
Sure.
am co-spotlighting the KTC window with you. Some connectivity issue. Actually, my laptop is connected through the hotspot, so that's why it's still working. So I'll ask our timer, Toastmaster Faizan, if you can come here and display your timing lights in this window. All right, right here.
Okay.
No,
And
you
can
don't need to bring the laptop. You don't need to bring the laptop. Just come here.
Thank you so much for that. Can you also give me the screen sharing access, please?
All right, just give me a second.
See, I'm not feeling so well today, so the energy that I'm known for is not there with me. Okay, whenever you're ready. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Alvin, and today, as the ChatGTP has already told you, that I will be presenting a keynote speech. And I will try my best to explain that English is not that difficult at all. So, first of all, let me explain that throughout my academic life, I have heard many people saying that English is not my first language, and that is why I cannot present it very well. But even in my initial days in the Toastmasters, I also saw the same thing here. I heard the same sentence by multiple people saying that English is not my first language and I cannot actually represent myself in a better way in this particular language. So let me be the bearer of good news and give you an iota of happiness with my words that English is in fact a lot more easier than you think. Most of the majority in Karachi Toastmaster Club have now most of the people have Urdu as their first language. So let me just firstly explain that Urdu is actually more difficult as compared to English. And I will give you sufficient evidence to prove and substantiate my theories here. But firstly, any language is based upon some pillars. So I will try to validate my points with all of those pillars. The first one will be pronunciation. The second one will be a bit of grammar. The third one will be a comparison with other languages. And if we are left with some time, I will also try to explain some writing strategies, which will help you even in planning your speeches in the future. So first of all, let's target the pronunciation part. For that, I want every one of you to write down a sentence with me, please. KTC members, the sentence that I want you to write is going to be, hello, comma, my name is Alvin Fernandez. I'm saying that really slowly so that you can write it with me. Once again, hello, my name is Alvin Fernandez. and I'm the manager here at National Grand Center. One more time. In fact, the last time. Hello, my name is Alvin Fernandez, and I'm the manager here at National Grand Center. Do let me know when you have written this sentence down, please. Timer, the same request is extended to you as well. Hello, this is Alvin Fernandez. Let me in fact share the screen with you if it helps you a little further.
Fernandez. I'm the manager here at National. Okay.
Yes, it's right here, right here. Worry not. Okay, so I have shared the screen with you and I want you to understand how many, I want you to highlight the number of R's that we have in this particular sentence. We have one in Fernandez. The second one is in manager. Then we have here. Then we have R in grand. And the last one is going to be in center. Do let me know when you have done this exercise with me, please.
R.
Okay, so I think we have done this and we have 5 R's in total. Now let me explain a quick strategy here. See, right now, today we're going to focus on the R's only. So if you want to talk like, if you want to use any particular language, the theme, the core is that you try to speak like the native speakers, right? So if, let's say I'm a Punjabi and I want to say the very same sentence, I would say, hello, my name is Alvin Fernandez and I'm the manager here at National Grand Center. Again, focus on the R's, please. The R's are vibrating a lot, right? Now, if you want to convert it a little bit of, toward the urban side, Karachi accent, then I would want you to eliminate those R's and the vibration should be reduced, not like eliminated totally, but reduced. And now the sentence would be, hello, my name is Alvin Fernandez and I'm the manager here at National Grand Center. Yes?
Yes.
However, if you want to talk like a Native American, what I want you to do right now is to roll the R's, hit the P's, hit the T's, and let me just give you a very, very basic example with that. Can you raise your right hand, everyone?
Mm-hmm.
And put it right in front of your mouth, here, and try to say perfect like a Pakistani. So it would be perfect.
Perfect.
And now try to say it like an American. And if you say it correctly, ladies and gentlemen, you'll be able to feel a smack of air on your palm, on your finger. So if you're saying perfect, perfectly, you will feel a blow. Tell me if that is correct.
Yeah.
Right? So if you keep doing the same thing, you will say perfect, perfectly. You will say tomorrow, not tomorrow. You will say bottle of water, not water anymore. However, if you want to change that even to the British accent, so now there are many variations in the British accent as well. Now I want you to again focus on the R's, and this time rather than rolling them, I want you to eliminate them totally, especially when they're coming at the end. So, hello, this is Alvin Fernandez, and I'm the manager here at National Grand Center. I want you to give me a bottle of water, please. If you do this successfully, you will be able to sound like a British person. What's the matter with you? Or what's the matter with you? Do you get that, ladies and gentlemen? And if you successfully achieve that, I want you to speak from the deep, throat, deep part of your throat. And I want you to sound like a Jamaican. Allow me to introduce, man. Me to introduce myself, man. My name is Alvin Fernandez. I'm always helping you. Yesterday, you did not help me at all. What do you think? Did that change anything? At all? And the last trick, if you want to sound like an Arabic or maybe a Transylvanian or a Russian, add a little bit of finesse to it. Now I want you to say the. Take your tongue out and try to say the rather than D. And the R's, the vibrations have to be maximum. And this would sound something like this. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Alvin Fernandez, and I'm the manager here at National Grand Center. Do you understand what I'm trying to say to you, everyone? Do we understand, everyone?
Yes.
If you do not understand, we'll make your bonds and take away all the toys from you. So if you do that successfully, you will be able to sound like a Russian or Arabic speaker. Again, this, I think, is sufficient evidence that tells you that I have quite good command at my pronunciation. And if you follow my tips, you can sound like an American, you can sound like a British, you can sound like a Russian, and even you can sound like a Jamaican if you want. Moving on. So now let me move on to the next question. And let me just ask you a simple question. That is, what in your opinion is a verb? Can we have some answers, please?
What?
Word.
Action.
A doing word. Action word.
To act.
Word describing
Okay,
action.
okay, got it. So 90% of the people, now here we have some chartered accountants, we have some business associates, and I want you to identify the action, please. Can you identify action in this particular sentence?
Teach.
Teach, you're perfectly right. However, in this whole time, this definition is not complete. And even if you continue with this definition, half of your English will be wrong. Because you just said that verb is an action. Identify the action in this one, please. Can you find the action? So once again, see, when I say I am running, you can see me running, you can see an action happening. But when I say I am Alvin, what action is there? Ladies and gentlemen, there is no action here at all. So the proper and the complete definition, let me get even more confirmation. And that confirmation comes from ChatGPT. The first part of the verb is an action, yes, but a verb is something that also expresses a state. So even in our 12, 15, 16 years of education, we were unaware of the true meaning of the verb, ladies and gentlemen. A verb is an action or a state. I teach English, that is an action. But I am a teacher, that is my profession, and there is no action in this particular sentence. Do we agree or not? Give me a thumbs up if you do.
Yes.
All right. Now moving on. We know that English is difficult. Let me break that myth for you. Can you quickly tell me the subjects that we have in English? We have I, we have we have you, they, he, she, it. And there is a very, very fancy verb that I just used, which is called the be verb, right? So be verb is conjugated. It has to be adjusted according to all the subjects, right? So for am, it will be I. For we, it will be. Say that with me, please.
Are.
With you, it is again are. With they, again are. With he, it is. With she, it is again. And here we have it is, she is, he is, they are, you are, we are, I am, and that's the base of verb, be. However, let me give you the biggest shock of your life. If you want to understand this, how many total pronouns that we have in English? Can you help me out? So we have 1, 2, count it with me, please. 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. That's it. That's it. And before we proceed to this part, do you know what do we call this little word here?
Article.
Yeah, it is the definite article. So the definite article is the for a feminine noun, it is the for a masculine noun, it is the for a neuter noun. And fortunately, in English, what is the gender for a laptop, ladies and gentlemen? Is it a she, is it a he, or is it an it?
It's an it.
It's an it. It's always an it. What about a chair?
It's an it as well.
And what about a door?
It again.
Now let me change the perception. In Urdu, the door is a masculine, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Darwaza hota hai. Did you know that?
Proceed.
And the chair is a feminine.
Yeah.
See, all the people who are sitting right now on the chair, you're sitting on a lady, and you should feel ashamed of that. Get up and say sorry to the chairs right now. So coming back to the easy part. See, whether it's any noun, we can use the for any kind of noun in English. Let me break your big bubble right now. See, here I have taken the liberty of noting down something in French. French is a very difficult language, ladies and gentlemen, because the writing goes here, the pronunciation goes here.
Yeah.
In complete 180 degree. A normal person would say this is le, but a French would say this is a le. A normal person would say this is a la, and a French would also say this is a la. A normal person, a non-French person would say this is les, but a French native speaker would say this is le. They don't pronounce the last words. They don't pronounce the last letters, sorry. And all of these words, guys, ladies and gentlemen, so if you're dealing with a masculine noun, you use la, which is the. If you're dealing with a feminine noun, you use la, which is again the. If you're using a plural, you're using le, which is again the. And if the word starts with a vowel or a silent H, you have to do this. L'hôpital. This is too difficult, ladies and gentlemen. Let me ask you one more time. How would you pronounce this word?
Comment.
And the French people say comment ça va, comment tu t'appelles, comment vas-tu. So all of these words are truly difficult. Let me give you one more example here. So el chico is Spanish, and el means the again. La mujer is again, this J is not sound like a J. A native Spanish speaker would say this is Jesus, like we say Jesus, right? So la mujer is the woman, and if you're dealing with a feminine noun, you again have to use la here. The plural, if they're masculine, you use los, sorry, and if you're dealing with a plural group of ladies, then la chicas. The word doesn't end here, sir. Let me give you the ultimate depression one more time. So if you're dealing with this language, see, so we have 9 pronouns. Let me just show you. Ish, du, sie, es. We then have wir, ihr, und sie. Now again, let me help you with that. So I'm using the be verb right now. Ich bin Alvin. Ich bin, okay, this is showing my true form. No, Alvin. Yeah. Okay, so du bist Sarah. Ist ein Freund. And similarly, it changes for every single one. So sie ist, es ist, wir sind, ist, and side, and ultimately sie sind. Now, the ultimate picture, ladies and gentlemen, here I have, in order to save time, I've also already taken the screenshots here, and I'm going to show them to you one by one. So the breaking news was English is difficult. Let me ask you once again, is it really difficult? And we have talked about pronunciation, we have talked about grammars. Comparison is happening. This part is also done. Comparison is happening with other languages. So German, firstly, be verb, guys. Count the number of pronouns, please. Ich, du, sie, es, sie, on now we have how many verbs and how many pronouns? If you do it correctly, we have more than 9 pronouns that we have to deal with here. If you go into French, I becomes je, tu becomes you, and you, even if you're talking to someone who is your close personal friend. So this you is informal, ladies and gentlemen. And on the other hand, if you're dealing with someone who is highly formal, then you are supposed to use vous for that. So coming to the point once again, let's take a look at the preposition here. See, whether we are going to Berlin, we use in, we are in Berlin, and whether we are in a continent or in a country, we use we are in Europe and we are in Germany. Yes or no?
Yes.
But here the tables have turned, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to say that you are in Berlin, now you have to use because it's a city. Again, you have to remember if it's a masculine or a feminine city. If you're dealing with a country or a continent, then you have to use in, but this in has now changed, and this is all What I'm saying right now is English is very, very easy indeed. You just have to buckle up. You have to just pull up your socks once again and be on the right track with the right mindset. Last question before I leave. Do you know what is an ambulance?
Yes.
All right. Do you know what do you call a glass in Urdu?
Glass.
Pura is the real word, and very few people know that. Very, very, very few people know that. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are living in a country where we do not understand the meaning of ambulance in Urdu, but we understand Urdu, we understand English, and we understand ambulance. Lastly, Krankenhaus. Can anyone tell me what is the meaning of this word?
Which one?
Krankenhaus. Ich arbeite in einem Krankenhaus.
No idea.
Krankenhaus, ladies and gentlemen, is the hospital. So, and the last one, I'm having so much fun, I don't want to leave now. Do you know what is the German word for food poisoning? Take a wild guess.
Blitzkrieg.
It is actually Lebensmittelvergiftung. Such a long word. And while you're saying that, you will lose everything, if you know what I mean. So with that, I would like to end with a message that be positive. English is easier. You have the right environment. You can come to KTC. You can talk with Talab bin Hamid. He dreams in English as well. So if you want to learn English, we have a lot of platforms, and English is not that difficult, believe it. With that, thank you so much for your time. Thank you, everyone. A courtesy to you. Over to you, sir.
It's my pleasure to introduce our next speaker, Rabia Zishan. In her personal life, Rabia is known for her dedication to volunteering and community service, and today she will be bringing her passion for self-improvement to the podium as she presents her project from the Path Motivational Strategies, Level 1. The project is an introduction to body language and vocal variety. Rabia will be sharing her knowledge and skills on the importance of body language and vocal variety in effective communication, and how they can be used to convey a message more effectively. This project is the perfect opportunity for Rabia to demonstrate her understanding of the impact that nonverbal cues can have on the audience, and how to use them to convey a message with more impact. We can expect Rabia's presentation to be engaging, informative, and inspiring. Let's give a warm welcome to Rabia Zishan.
Okay, so Chat GPT is pronouncing my name wrong. It's Razia Zishan, not Rabia. Timer, you can start when I start. We are moving very fast. I can feel the wind on my face. My hairs are blowing behind me. And we are ready to enter the tunnel. I am full of excitement and I am ready for the adventure that has to come. We enter the tunnel. The sound of the train goes more louder and echoes. And everyone is scared and shouting. And then we ask our father, Appa, zor se, Appa kare na, father, do it loudly. And he pick up his two pinky fingers and put them in his mouth and blows loudly. And that's the loudest whistle anyone ever could blow, because that is the memory I have when I was 4 or 5 years old. And we are on the train in Clifton Beach Playground, Playland, if someone of you remembers, long ago. It's 90s. This was the most exciting train ride ever. Isn't it? No, I grew up and I turned 10. And there came a new playground, Sinbad Wonderland, near Nipa Chaurangi. And they had the fastest roller coaster ever, the Dragon Ride. And now we were very excited. Me and my brother used to wait in line. It was the most expensive ride at that time, 15 rupees for 2 laps, you know. Our father was too scared to sit on it. So it was only we siblings who used to take that ride. It used to go very fast. It had turns and it went up and down and it was so fast and it did not stop after one round. It used to take 2 rounds. It was an amazing ride. We were so excited. I grew up a little bit more. I got married. I had the opportunity to visit Dubai with my family, my children and my husband. And we went to Ferrari World. There is the fastest roller coaster, Formula Rossa. If I remember correctly, it was 240 km/h. And we had to wait in a long line for, I think, about an hour just to get on that ride. Now, I could not only feel my hair blowing, I could even feel my cheeks blowing backward. It was so fast that I could not speak a word or even shout in excitement because it was taking a lot of energy to even pronounce a word or shout. My shoulders were thrown back with the power the roller coasters were going. And up we went and down we came, but it was over in just a minute or so. It was the fastest roller coaster ride ever. Full of excitement, full of energy. And one would believe that's the most adventurous thing you could have done. Went and sat on the fastest roller coaster ride and accomplished it. In 2018, my sister called me to America because she was planning a trip to the Disneyland. There, I went on a ride called the Harry Potter ride. It was inside a castle, the Hogwarts castle. And I was like, okay, it would be a good ride. It won't be like the roller coaster ride from the Ferrari World. So we went inside. There was this huge seat. They strapped us in. And how high can a ride go inside a castle? It can't go like the one in Formula Rossa top. And suddenly the environment changed. It was all dark. And we were flying over the Hogwarts castle now because it was a 3-dimensional and fully automatic, and the chairs were moving, and it felt like we were flying on the broomstick of Harry Potter. Even the Death Eaters came, and we went after that golden ball. I don't even know the name of it. The snitch. It was full of excitement, and it was something new, something very different. Maybe it wasn't as fast as Formula Rossa, but it was filled with lots of surprise element and shock element. And this time, I even went upside down because the seat in which I was strapped in, it went all the way upside down and turned. My head was down, my legs were up, but of course it was all protected by the gear I was in. But this ride also ended after a few minutes. It was a beautiful and most amazing experience one could get because of the artificial intelligence, as I may say, which was used to make the environment of that roller coaster so real, so phenomenal. Dear fellow Toastmasters, this is what life is all about. When you are passing through a phase, you feel it's the best ride ever. You feel life cannot get more harder than this. When you are a child, you feel that train ride is the best ever. And you feel that how can life get more difficult after this? It can't have more ups and downs. But believe me, that is what the roller coaster of life means. Even if you think and you believe that you have conquered the mountains and you have reached the top, believe me when I say it will take a dive and it will come down. It will surprise you in ways you had never imagined. So, my dear listeners, everyone, enjoy the moment you are in, cherish it. Make sure that you are gaining the entire experience of it, because there comes a time when you are too old and too weak to even sit on the roller coaster. You will just stand outside on the ground and maybe enjoy it by others who are actually sitting, your children or your siblings, or maybe some other random people. And you will be smiling. Oh, yes, wait for it. There's going to come a next turn. So that's what life roller coaster is all about. Back to ChatGPT.
It's my pleasure to introduce our next speaker, distinguished Toastmaster Raghunatha Rayu. He will be delivering a keynote speech on the topic of Path to Pathways DTM. As a part of the Toastmasters Prepare to Speak Professionally project, the objective of this speech is to demonstrate the speaker's ability to develop and deliver a well-structured, polished, and impactful speech. Toastmaster Rayu will be sharing his experiences and insights on the journey to earning the coveted designation of Distinguished Toastmaster, providing valuable lessons and tips for the audience on their own path to professional speaking success. We can expect Toastmaster Rayu's keynote to be inspiring, thought-provoking, and filled with practical advice for achieving speaking excellence. Let's give a warm welcome to Distinguished Toastmaster Raghunatha Rayu.
Well, a big round of applause for ChatGPT. He got the name of his pronunciation much better than all of us. Isn't that true, Toastmaster Raju?
I was just going to say that. Dear
Yeah.
ChatGPT and fellow Toastmasters, what a wonderful thing to notice that an AI is much powerful than the way that we are able to pronounce name. But after an intriguing speech by Alvin and then Rabia, I think I'm not going to give a speech today. Just stop. But then we are DTMs, we are Toastmasters, and we are here to learn and grow with each other's support. DTM. Somebody says derogatory Toastmaster, exactly my wife. When I gave a speech in China, when I said I'm a DTM, and they said distinguished talking machine. In United States, it's called don't time me because we love to chatter for longer and we don't even look at the timer cards. So the definition may vary, but irrespective of anything, what is one thing common in this is that it is one of the highest educational award that you can achieve in Toastmasters. Why should you even try for it? Before even I talk about distinguished Toastmasters, why Toastmasters? Only one answer is it's a fail-safe environment where it doesn't matter whether you succeed in anything that you're doing or whether you fail. Or in fact, there is nothing called fail. It's always a stepping stone, a learning stone in Toastmasters. And when it comes to distinguished Toastmasters journey, there's a lot of activities that are involved, and everything is a learning, whether it is in your education, whether it is in your leadership, whether it is your strategy, or whether it is your networking. In every step, you learn to grow You learn to become a better version of yourself. And today we are going to discuss and talk about what are the different steps that are involved, whether it is to become a derogated Toastmasters, a distinguished Toastmaster, or maybe don't time me Toastmaster. But we'll see what it is needed to get that award in Pathways. Pathways is the learning program that started from 2008 and right now in 2018. I'm sorry about that. And it has become official from there. And we have been in this journey to use all along. So now we have to understand what is that we have to do to achieve distinguished Toastmaster in this. As you join as a new Toastmasters, you are introduced to the Pathways Education Program. You select a path based upon your needs, and then you do another path. These are the achievement or the requirement for a DTM is to complete 2 paths. Other step is club sponsor, where you sponsor a club, which means that whenever a new club is starting, you work towards the club chartering, whether it is the documentation or helping in demo meetings till the club is chartered. You work on speechcraft, that is where you work upon a program where you giving a peek through for the Toastmaster program or public speaking program that is offered by Toastmaster in the short course, which is 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 weeks. When it is done for youth, which is the age between the 8 to 17, that is called youth leadership program. They cannot be converted to Toastmaster member, of course, your club, but in speechcraft, it can be done to increase your membership of the club, or sometimes some clubs do raise funds using the speechcraft program, where the Toastmaster allows you to charge up to $90 for the course, which is 2 times fees. Some clubs do use this strategy for charging extra, but converting them as members using that fund. It's up to you how you want to do it. Other thing is club mentor or club coach. Now, club coach is whenever a club is not doing well and there's a membership between 3 to 12, they're eligible to get a club coach who helps the club to get distinguished and all to get into mainstream. The club mentor is when the club is chartered, the responsibility is not over it. It has to stand on the chart for at least 6 months. The club mentor is going to support. There can be 2 club mentor for any club that is chartered. You need to serve as club officer for 12 months or 6 months, and that can be parallel, that can be subsequential or any order. Doesn't matter. And district officer serve for the 1 term, 1 full term. You should not leave in between. Remember one thing, that if you serve as a club coach and meet certain criteria, you get both the credit as a club coach and district officer. One last requirement that is to be there is complete DTM project, which is a distinguished Toastmaster project, which you need to activate by writing to world headquarters after you complete level 3 in your second path. I will discuss in detail in the next slide. Now, how do you select a path? Path is selected based upon your requirements. Nobody wants to become, let's say, distinguished Toastmaster. Nobody wants to become a distinguished public speaker. They all come to improve their skills, and each one comes with their own aspiration. Somebody wants to become a motivational speaker. Somebody wants to improve their communication. I joined Toastmasters to be able to persuade my team members so that we can achieve common goals for our project. And I choose persuasive influence. And I had a long-term goal to become a motivational speaker, which is why my second path was motivational strategies. And this helped me a lot in my project while working with my team to achieve common goals. Once I completed level 3, I wrote to world headquarters to activate my DTM capstone project. Now, what is DTM capstone project? It has, like, for example, you need to work on a goal, and on goal, when you are doing it, you need a guidance committee, which can be 1 or 2 senior Toastmasters who can help you on that, who are going to assist you, not assist you, but guide you or mentor you in coach you. Then the team members who are working with to achieve your goal, and then your goals, smart goals. They should be measurable, and they you're able to tell in the end that they achieved this. And also your communication plan, the plan of communicating with your guidance committee, with your team members, and also the plan on how you are going to achieve it. You need to have that. Once you have that ready, present first speech. And once you achieve your goals, present your second speech with how did everything go. And you need to present 360 degrees feedback, at least from 5 members, and share your experience. For example, when I did my last DTM project, a couple of people felt I did good job, but a couple of people felt that there was an area of improvement, the way that I'm giving instructions or trying to work with team. So I should not be direct there. My communication should, or rather could be better there. So this is an improvement area that we can work upon, and we can introspect and learn. Club officer, for 12 months or 2 consecutive terms or any 2 6 months term. There are 7 different roles. This is the leadership opportunity for you for any time that you want to grow. As I told, in Toastmasters, it's a fail-safe environment where you're learning in this environment and there is no pass or fail. For example, if you're taking a leadership role in your organization, or let us say you're trying to become a manager or team lead, you are on fire and people start judging you, people start looking up to you, and there's so many things that you go through. I had my own struggle when I was managing a group of 5 to 6 people, and it was mess. Why? Because somebody was escalating on something, somebody wanted to become a manager in my place and not me. And there were so many things. And I was not really able to manage at that point of time. But now I wish I was a Toastmaster back then. Because here, in being a club officer, I've learned a lot. As a VP membership, I've learned to network with people, to talk more, to build the network. And it was beneficial for me in many ways. As a VP education, I've built network across 144 countries, which is one of the reasons why I'm in Karachi Toastmaster now as a member. As a presiding officer, I've led successful teams, successful clubs toward president distinguished status, and that has built confidence in me. Each and every position has a learning, has a growth. Now, what you have to do is come forward and take this role once you get a chance next time. I'm sure you will do that. There are 2 criteria. Uh, you have to attend the club officer training. And second thing is you should be part of club success plan in this term. Otherwise, you will not be eligible to get this credit towards your DTM. District officer. There are credit roles and non-credit roles. We are going to talk about credit roles. Credit roles are either elected or either appointed. Elected means where we democratically elect, that is by the district council members, which is our district officers and also club level VP education and president. This election happened in annual business meeting, and appointment happens after this election where the newly appointed officer or rather elected officers and this district director and division directors and others, they together decide the next upcoming officers, which will be the district administration manager, district finance manager, district PR manager, and area director. These are the appointed roles. Now you should be in by September end. Otherwise, you will not get credit. I've seen so many people who are not aware of this. Once you get appointed, please ensure that your name is in the records within the specified date. Otherwise, you are not going to get the credit for the term. Now, what you learn in this, for example, when I became a area director in District 18, it was not an easy job. First of all, it was in a foreign country. Second, when people don't want to just listen, don't want to work upon the club DCP goal just because they were overwhelmed. One of the club never responded to me. For example, there was a club, CSC Toastmasters, that used to meet at 4 a.m. Indian Standard Time, and but I tried to visit their club, that they never responded. Rather, they were ashamed of their achievements so far. They were not able to get members, not education goals. So what I did was I write an email to each and every person and went there and started understanding what was their difficulty. This has helped me to become an empathetic leader. And when we worked together, understood the pain points, CSC Toastmaster was a distinguished club then that year. And as a division director this year in District 101, I was able to rather compare myself as one of the CEO of a 400 member institution, right? You're managing that many people, helping them to achieve their goals and working with your area directors. It was a pain point for me when some of the people were not clear. They didn't understand me as an Indian, didn't understand me that I'm just another Toastmaster, nothing different from them. It took a while for them to sink in. But this has improved me. Rather, I was able to improve myself to be patient, to consider others' wishes, and also to improve as a leader. Going forward, when I become a Scrum Master in my organization where I'm working, all these qualities, all the patience, all these conversations has helped me to become a better leader in my own organization where I earn, of course. So I say, the next time you're getting an opportunity to become a district officer, I'm sure now District 122 has opened opportunities for district officer roles, for elected roles. Please go forward and apply for them if you think that you can do a difference there. Now, club sponsor and club mentor. For any new club that is built, there are two club sponsors. And the club sponsor duty is only till chartering, and club mentor is from charter day to till at least for 6 months. It depends upon district to district what is necessary for club mentor. For example, in District 101, the district does the interview for the club mentors before appointing them to ensure the club doesn't fall off the dashboard. And once they are appointed, they need to submit certain kind of reports on monthly basis, at least for 6 months. Now, club sponsors help till chartering, which includes documentation. Sometimes they help in funding the club charter fees, that is $125, or sometimes they just help in the demo meetings, which is also a necessary point. I was able to help in chartering of 6 clubs so far. 2 of them I was appointed as a mentor and rest as a club sponsor. What did I learn out of this is how I can use my network and convert that into a net worth, which is sponsoring this club. I was able to collaborate with teams to achieve the common goals. This has improved my confidence. And I'm sure next time you get an opportunity, don't hesitate. Work on the opportunity to charter a club or to mentor a club to become a club sponsor. And I'm sure you will learn a lot. So talking about the next step, which is speechcraft or YLP. Now, anytime you get an opportunity, or rather you ask whether it's a pathway project of HPL or DTM, you can pick up a YLP or Speechcraft program. I've done 2 free Speechcraft where before the digital Speechcraft came in picture, there was no pathway Speechcraft. So I designed then back then and also worked upon the digital Speechcraft once and right now working on one for District 101. And this actually a very big event where you need to plan everything, the coordinators that are there, and also the members that you need to bring in by doing PR. You need to decide the dates. You need to decide what are the education sessions that you can have. It's a sneak peek for the people. The better the program is, the better the outcome is. The members who want, whether you want to improve the membership of your club or either getting more funds for your club. It all depends upon what you want to achieve out of it. Speechcraft is one of the best tool I've seen. At least 50% of the people who attend Speechcraft join your club. Now, YLP is one good program when you want to do the Speechcraft like program for youth, that is 8 to 17 years of age. The only requirement Toastmasters says for one to become a Toastmaster is 18 years. So anyone below that, they go to gavel clubs, and then you can go and help these gavels, or rather students, in improving their public speaking skills by doing the YLP program. So I have done one program, and that was initiated by one question from my niece when she asked me whether God is a concept or God is just one question that everybody gets to answer in different ways. And that kicked out one of the YLP program that I did. It was Sanskriti, where I thought that I will teach not only public speaking skills, but also a little bit about our customs and what we do on daily basis, scientifically, making it easy for the youth to understand. This way, you learn how to teach, you improve your confidence. And I was not only able to improve my confidence, but if somebody asks me right now to manage an event, it is easy because I know in and out of what is to be done. Even if I don't, I can work with some people to know what are the details required, get that, plan well, and also get all the role players done. And in the end, achieve the smart goals, but with better management. The club coach is something that where there's a possibility that you don't have to serve as a district officer, just get the dual credit done. But the club has to meet certain criteria. And that has done from last year. There are some changes from this year. So I will discuss that in detail. What are the eligible clubs? A club that is active, a club that has members at least 3 and maximum 12 members are eligible to get a club coach. They should not have already 2 club coaches. Now, what does the club coach? Who is eligible to become a club coach is somebody who is active member for 1 year, somebody who has completed at least L2 or ACS or ALB in legacy program. Now, don't fight with me by comparing this ACS, ACB and ALB in level 2 with level 2 because that is a requirement by Toastmasters. You must have served at least 12 months or 2 6-month term as a club officer, and you must have completed club coach training in base camp. Now, what you cannot do is you cannot become a member. I've seen one member in my mentees in DTM program where she joined a club in a club in Zimbabwe as a club coach. She added 5 members, and within 3 months, they just moved out of the club. But she got her club coach. That is not the requirement that should have been happened. She should have helped the club to be stronger. Now you cannot be a member there, and you shouldn't be a member of the club in past 6 months. You cannot be a club coach for more than one club. This is the requirement. And there are two things that you should do. To get your credit of club coach, you must submit reports to world headquarters, club officer, and trio on monthly basis. Club president and you must enter into an agreement, and that should be written by DT, district director. And the club should achieve at least minimum distinguished status, which is 5 DCP goals, and also the membership criteria that is required for the club to achieve distinguished status. To achieve dual credit condition, which is where you also get a district officer credit, is where you should serve as for 6 months at least as a club coach, and the club must have 20 members by the TI year end, which is June 30. What do you achieve out of this is when you are able to work with a different team. It's a difficult task to work with a club that is dying, but there are certain points that if you can stress upon, for example, how the club is doing PR, how the club is looking at the guests that are coming to the meetings, are they inviting anybody? How exciting is the program quality? How the elected officer of the club are working towards the club, or rather managing the club. If you look at those pain points, if you get this the main thing, you will be able to achieve the distinguished status easily. I was able to coach 4 clubs so far, and it has been a very good journey for me and learning point how we can work with difficult teams. There's a project in Pathways which talks about difficult audience, managing difficult audience, but here you are managing difficult teams who don't want to achieve their goals. But the way that you achieve, improve your persuasion skills is the main thing that you learn in this program. The last but not least is something that needs to be sent by your club officer. You need to fill this DTM application where you will give up your address details, put in properly because this is where you receive your plaque, and then member details and the club name where you are giving the credit to. Path completion is the 2 paths, the dates that you have completed. Now, distinguished Toastmaster project we talked about, the one that when you complete, the date that you completed that project. Office held is where you mention the club, the club officer role, for example, president, the club number, and the date served. Date served is the date where you completed that officer role. I talked about club success plan. We should mention the month and year where you work towards your club success plan, and the officer training where you attend the club officer training. Be careful when you fill this because they compare the record and see whether you attend the training or not, only then give you the credit. District leader role, the office held, whether it's area director, division director, district director, whatever it is, and the district number and the date served. Other is if you serve only as a club coach, just mention the club coach, district number, and the date served. Club mentor or club coach, the club name, club number, and the date appointed or chartered. Same thing for club sponsor. And for the speech craft, the workshop name and the date presented. There's nothing that you need to fill for get this done. One thing that is how to done when you serve as a club mentor or club sponsor is that, and also the club coach is, the club has to send an email to world headquarters saying that this person has helped us fully and we got all the support that is needed for either as a club coach or club mentor or club sponsor. I've seen several awards lying pending just because nobody has claimed them. You need to ask the charter officers, or as a club coach, you need to ask the members to send an email. That is a new requirement from this year. Now, it has to be verified by a club officer and send that to the world headquarters at education program at toastmasters.org. Now, that is overall, but you may ask me, what is in it for me? This is about you is something that you need to decide, but I can talk about myself. My journey was not easy in my life. I was a procrastinator, or rather, in short, lot of procrastination. I used to procrastinate, being the younger one at home, always putting things aside. In Toastmasters, I have improved myself in planning. I've overcome my stuttering problem as speaking around different kind of audience. I've improved the way that I communicate with my team. I've improved the way that I'm able to achieve planning done well and also achieving the results out of people, even when I have to deal with difficult audience. There were times when I used to hear anything negative from people, I used to just, I cannot say that, I cannot withstand that kind of attitude. But right now, I've improved that. I'm able to work with anybody and take strategical decision. I'm able to network with people and achieve the goals that I want to achieve, but it's beneficial for the team. I've become an empathetic leader instead of just being a person who want to achieve his personal goals. What about you? What do you want to achieve out of this Toastmaster or Distinguished program? Over to Toastmaster or my dear AI chat GPT, the iota of the day.
You are mute, DTM Tala, you are mute.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Mohammad Asghar, for joining the meeting to tell me that. Thanks, as always, for the valuable service. It is time for our next announcement and our next speaker. And here it comes.
It's my pleasure to introduce our next speaker, Toastmaster Mufidal Murtaza, who will be speaking on the topic of Reflect on Your Path. The objective of this project, as outlined in the Toastmasters documentation, is to encourage the speaker to reflect on their personal and professional journey, exploring what they have learned and how they have grown. In this speech, Toastmaster Murtaza will be sharing his experiences, insights, and lessons learned along the way. Today is a landmark day for Toastmaster Murtaza, as he has completed the path, the magic. We can expect his speech to be an inspiring and personal reflection on the journey to becoming a better speaker and leader. Let's give a warm welcome to Toastmaster Mufidal Murtaza.
He's mute again. Apologies for that. Apologies. As I keep saying, someone else take up the tech host role. I'll be glad to vacate it. Once again, please start, Toastmaster Mufidal.
It was back in 2017 when, for the very first time, my manager told me to give a presentation. While I was giving the presentation, I discovered that I'm a patient of glossophobia. Now you would be wondering, what is glossophobia? Glossophobia is fear of public speaking, and many of us are facing this phobia. Later on, I decided that what should I do? I started to ask my relatives, friends, families, how should I overcome this? Everybody said one thing, that you need to practice it. No books, no videos can only help you doing it unless you come on a platform, start speaking, communicating with people. At that time, I was in Islamabad. I was doing my job in Islamabad, and I found out that there's a Islamabad Toastmasters Club where I can go and join that platform, get opportunity to speak up and become a better version of myself. But this evil glossophobia came and said, hey buddy, that club is really, really far from your office. You should not go over there. You're fine with me. Stay with me. Nothing will happen to you. At that time, I said, yeah,
you are saying right. Let's not go there. And I came into his words. I didn't went to that. I stayed with my peer for a couple of more years, and then my job switched. I came back to Karachi. My office is at Barrier Complex 1, and I came to know that there is a Karachi Toastmasters Club who is at my arm's length. Now I thought that there is no excuse of getting back and not joining the club. But again, this evil came and start whispering, hey buddy, you have just shifted to Karachi. You have a family, you have responsibilities, you have a wife, you have kids. You cannot spend 3-4 hours every Wednesday over here listening to people and speaking. Just don't go over there. But this time I took out my gun, I shoot that claustrophobia and came in this world of magic with beautiful people, and I became the member of Karachi Toastmasters Club. I remember the first session, I took a trial session, and just after the trial session, I paid my membership fee, as I knew that if I pay the fee, I'll be here, no matter what happens. So I became the member, and after becoming the member, I remember the day I was here for my icebreaker speech. I was, as my name was announced, I was already shivering. My legs were shaking. I walked all around here and I had no idea what I'll be doing. But trust me, the people over here are so beautiful, so positive. When I started to speak up, the vibes which I was getting, the acceptance which I was getting, I didn't know what happened, and the speech went super. And the cherry on the top was the standing ovation, which every icebreaker speech gets after this speech, which was marvelous. As I move on to my pathway, which was presentation mastery, I gave many speeches on different projects. Every project is a project of self-reflection. When you start drafting those speeches, you know what you are. Either it's speaking with purpose, either it's vocal variety or body language, or when it comes to communication styles. When it comes to communication styles, I came to know what is my communication style, and at the same time, I also came to know what is the communication style of my wife. So I came in a better situation of communicating with her, and things started to move in a better direction after that. So when you join Toastmasters, it's not only about delivering speech. It's all about delivering the speech and getting an evaluation up. Evaluation is the breakfast for the champions. When you get your evaluation, when you deliver the speech, you feel you have done a wonderful job. But when you get your evaluation after that, you come to know what are those gray zones, gray areas which you need to work on. And if you start working on it, you become a better version of yourself. At the starting, there were lots of pillar words, which with time started to improve. But trust me, when you come to this Toastmasters Club and when you hear different roles, when you start to do, I guess it's 10 to 12 minutes.
Oh, 10 to 12. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Sorry.
So when you start hearing different, when you start doing different roles, such as our counter, this role of our counter is so irritating in terms that when you're in office and when you hear a speech coming up,
Yes.
your R counter is in your head. You start counting the R of the opposite person, and that person doesn't know that you're counting that R's, and you're not giving that report at the end of the speech. But at the same time, you become really, really responsive to that as well when you are speaking, and this improves you day by day. It's not only about the journey of delivering the speech, getting the evaluations, opting for different roles, but it's all about improvising your leadership skills as well. Toastmasters Club give you many opportunities to improve your leadership skills. When I came into this Toastmasters Club, I came to know that there is an XCOM elections coming up. My official mentor, TM Imran Rana, pushed me up for this role, and I stood up for the Sergeant at Arms role, and I'm currently serving Sergeant at Arms at Karachi Toastmasters Club. Then during my pathway journey, there was a wave of contests. I was again running away. And there was DTM Talha, there was TM Imran Rana, and every Toastmaster was pushing up, and I took up that contest. Though my Urdu speech contest was a disaster for me, I still remember that speech. But when you participate in speech, it's not only about winning. It's about learning from the process. It's about gaining those expertise and becoming a better version, so that when you again participate into the next speech or a next contest, you can conquer it. Fortunately, I don't know how, but I conquered the humorous speech contest and the evaluation speech contest at 3rd places. All the way from the icebreaker to the keynote speech, there are lots of people who I want to thank from the bottom of our heart. I cannot take all the names, but I would like to thank all of you. Every evaluator has played a vital role for my pathway and for all the learnings. When I was in 2016, I gave a project in my office, and I delivered a speech. I delivered a presentation for which I had delivered a keynote speech back in Continuing Toastmasters. I have discussed about that, and those who have not heard about that, there's a Society of Petroleum Engineers who motivate you to submit any abstract or any technical work if you think that is beneficial for the society. Back in 2016, I did that. My abstract was selected. I was called in Islamabad for that presentation. I delivered that speech, and I remember how nervous I was when I was delivering that speech at that point of time. Fortunately, last week, one of my abstract was accepted in Society of Petroleum Engineers Abu Dhabi section. I was also invited there, and the difference which I felt from back in 2016, when I was not the part of Toastmasters Club, to the point when I am a part of Toastmasters Club, I felt the paradigm shift while delivering this speech. And trust me that you all will feel this difference only when you will become the part of this process. Toastmaster is just like a drug, a beautiful drug. It's a beautiful addiction at the same time. You will only be believing in my words only if you become a part of this. If you don't become the part of this, you keep on attending the meetings, you don't come up here speaking, you will not feel the difference. So it was a whole life of a magic for me. It was a complete way difference for me. I look forward to another pathway, and I will be looking for more magics coming up in my life. And in the end, I would recommend all of you that if you are coming up over here, don't deliver only the speeches, don't get only the evaluations, but also opt for different roles, opt for different positions, so that your presentation skills along with your leadership skills become to a higher level. Toastmasters have been an iota for me in my life. That's all from my side. Over to you, Jason.
Thank you so much. Let's kick in some real intelligence. And how about starting the tradition of giving a standing ovation to Pathway?
Yes.
And apologies to all path completists who did not receive this previously, but this is always the first time. And it is time to introduce our next
speech should be used to
project.
Market our.
Yes, new members.
Yeah.
It was like the perfect summation of everything.
Thank you. Right. Yeah, here it is.
It's my pleasure to introduce our next speaker, Toastmaster Wishan Aziz, who will be presenting his project, Deliver Social Speeches. The objective of this project is to develop the speaker's ability to deliver speeches for social occasions, such as weddings, parties, and other celebrations. Toastmaster Aziz will be demonstrating his skills in crafting and delivering a speech that is engaging, entertaining, and appropriate for a social setting. Evaluating Toastmaster Aziz's performance will be Toastmaster Rabia Zisham, who will provide constructive feedback on the speech's structure, content, delivery, and overall impact. Let's give a warm welcome to Toastmaster Wishan Aziz and a big round of applause for Toastmaster Rabia Zisham, the evaluator.
I wanted to do, I think, something a bit different. I prepared this, but I want to just do something.
All right. That's totally.
I don't know. I thought because I've always come prepared with a piece of paper, but
No issues. 3 to 4 minutes, right?
yeah.
All right.
I hope
Sure.
so.
Go ahead.
Am I in the middle?
Yes, don't you dare go 1 inch closer because then you'll have to out of the picture. Don't you dare mess up our cameras.
Okay.
Yeah,
Can I know?
your speaking area is right there.
Can I know the project?
It's all
The same project?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
it's the
same
same.
project, but
Done.
totally
Done.
improvised.
All right, wonderful. All right, you can start.
Hello, everyone. From morning to evening, we interact with many different organizations. We start our day, the breakfast we eat, the car we drive, we're all affiliated with different organizations. We go to work, it's another organization. Where we're standing right now, another organization for a different purpose. But one organization, sometimes what we put our faith in, we put our money in, what we all go to work for. Sometimes that organization might be the strongest organization in your life. Luckily for me, that organization was not my current employer, my previous employer. It's called the Vanguard Group. This group, it basically, for anyone who's unaware of it, I'll just briefly talk about it for a minute and then we'll move on to the next part. So what it is basically a fund management house. And what they do is they do it at low cost. So if anyone is doing any investing right now, your fund manager probably charges 2 to 3%. This is a very industry norm that exists, 2 to 3%. You will always be charged this. So what Vanguard charges is something much, much less for everyone, 0.1%. This is the breakthrough that they started in the 1970s and they carried forward until present day. And today they are the world's second biggest asset management company in the world. So luckily this was my previous employer, so I got to witness it firsthand and everything was great. So first things, what I remember being there is it was my first job out of school, out of university. It was my first proper job where you have to actually get up and go to it and not mess up. Previous jobs you could mess up and be like, okay, whatever. But this was a real job you actually had to do. So when I went there, I was also quite nervous, the same way I was when I joined Toastmasters. And then I remember talking to my supervisor, being like, hey, excuse me, like, actually, I don't know. I have like imposter syndrome being here, I don't know what's going on. I'm scared I'll mess up. I'm worried if I do something wrong because you're processing a lot of numbers and things. I've always thought if you make a mistake here, they just show you the door until you get out. Luckily, that didn't happen. There's a lot of checks behind what you do, so you're safe in that regard. But I remember when I brought this up, she said, oh, that's not a big problem. Actually, we have an organization within the firm for people who this is their first job. So you can go address all these questions over there. I thought this was great. This was a very amazing thing, which other companies should have, but many of them don't. Now, another thing that I really remember and really value of this company was, as I mentioned, in the 1970s, this started. And the person who started it, his name was John Bogle, like an old American man. And actually, he was so humble that he used to eat on the same table as all his staff. Because his books were given to you when you joined the firm on day one. But I remember seeing that book and then saying, look, this is that same guy who wrote the book and he's sitting here. And then I realized, actually, he's the founder of this whole organization, which is employing around 16,000 people. So that was a great thing. And just his behavior of this is instilled throughout all the values that they preach to. And now the next thing I remember about it was how it taught me how to actually work. Because I have never done any other job prior to this. I used to work in a library but that just meant put on headphones and walk around and put books down. There was no real work, to be honest. No disrespect to any librarian, but really, it was just put on, listen to music and walk around and put books down. So how I'd like to celebrate this company is it empowered me to be confident in the job that you do. Understand that if you make mistakes, it is completely okay because there's a lot of people checking what you're actually doing. But it gave me that confidence to actually work. And going forward, I have used this in other organizations. My current boss might agree, might not agree. That's a story. But I'm still using the skills that I've learned from that day until today. And for that reason, I know I'm not employed with them right now, but I look back and I think it was a great firm to work for. And in the future, maybe one day I get to work for them again.
Great. All right. Now it's time to announce our next speech.
It's my pleasure to introduce our final speaker of the evening, Toastmaster Amber Al-Rashid, who will be delivering her icebreaker speech. The objective of the Icebreaker Project is for the speaker to introduce themselves to the audience, sharing their personal story, interests, and goals. This project serves as the first step in the Toastmasters journey, allowing the speaker to gain confidence and experience speaking in front of a group. Toastmaster Amber Al-Rashid's speech is titled, My Journey of Embracing Diversity. In this speech, she will share her personal journey of embracing diversity, including the challenges and rewards of living and working in a culturally diverse world. Let's give a warm and encouraging welcome to Toastmaster Amber Al-Rashid, and support her as she takes her first steps in the Toastmasters journey.
Okay, so today I'm without paper. Well, this is Amber Al-Rashid, and most of you knows it now. So I'm a single mother of a 4-year-old, and I have 4 siblings, 3 brothers and a sister, and I'm the eldest one. So I have 3 brothers. One of them lives in Australia, one of them lives in UK, and one in Dubai. My sister lives here. She's a senior designer at JDOT. And then, I was born in Saudi Arabia, Jeddah, and in a cross-cultural family. And from paternal side, basically I'm Maiman, and from maternal, I'm Urdu speaking. But and my family, my paternal family, they used to live in Pakistan, and we were in Saudi Arabia where my maternal family used to live. So for some reason, my Nana and Nani managed to have a dozen of kids. And they had, it was like we had 12, Khalas and Mamus. So it was kind of cricket team at, my Nanyal. And then, so basically, and it was we got we got privileged to raise ourselves or to grow in a multicultural family where there were Saudis, we had Pakistani cousins, we had Indian cousins too. So it was very multicultural, and we got this privilege to, I would say, to understand the lifestyle on an international level. So, and we learned language. Not just we learned, but we also kind of, ruined the languages in a very bad way because, there were people who used to say "phado ko phato." So, it was a weird kind of combination when, when Saudi and Indian and Pakistani people meet. So in my early life, I was quite shy. I was obedient, but not a naughty kid. But somehow I managed to be a family scapegoat, and everything someone else used to do, it was always on me because I was the eldest one. So I clearly remember anything my sibling used to do, it was like my mom used to say, "Isi ne sikhaya hoga, isi ne kiya hoga." So it was always that thing, and she had no iota of support, evidence to support her claim. And so For some reason, Desi parents, they have, like, for them, it's very okay to slap a kid, or maybe, giving corporal punishment. I know, I'm sure most of the Desi people can relate themselves to that. Because, till that generation, it was always yes. So my mom, I've seen her a lot of time becoming Sultan Rai and hitting us, slapping us for, very small, tiny, minute reasons. And I'm sorry, I forgot that. So, I've seen her there were a lot of times when I was the one who didn't do anything, but I used to get scolded. So, I remember there was a time when my cousin, he broke my mom's lipstick. And, we saw my mom and my aunt was there, and they were asking, "Kisne kiya hai? Who did that?" And, I was quiet, and my cousin pointed at me, and they could clearly see, he did it because his hands were all, they had the pigment of lipstick on his hand. And I didn't do, because there wasn't any pigment on my hand. But then my mom was looking, and, there was this stern look. And she was very angry at me, very furious. And then she slapped me twice, just to make me realize, so I can speak up for myself. And I didn't do that still. So, I could clearly see, her, she could, so she was able to, fix our, to stabilize our karma, and to make us realize how to, she could open our chakras by just slapping us, or this was very common. So later, I remember once, so when at the age of 13, we moved to Pakistan, and then for our higher education. And initially it was very complicated, but later on we got stable, and we got, friends there. Otherwise, we used to, for the first 2-3 years were very complicated initially. And then after a decade, I got into professional world, where I worked marketing and event management was my forte. And but I have worked for diversified industries like FMCG, for consulate, from advertisement agency, and I'm working for a development sector, that's TCF. And then, so since I was into marketing, aesthetic sense plays a great role. And I did my bachelor's in textile designing and master's in design, marketing, and merchandising, which helped me out to improve my aesthetic sense. And, it was benefiting me throughout my career as well. So now I'm working for TCF and having a, good life with my son. Thank you so much.
Another question? Thank you for the beautiful icebreaker. And yeah, Toastmaster Rabia, now is not the time to discuss TCF. You have about 7 more parts to cover, and you do, right? 7 more parts to go?
For what?
Like, out of 11, you've done 3 or 4. Yeah. So plenty of space to talk about TCF. So I'm just floating the poll for, speaker. I believe, Mr. Timer, all the speakers are qualified, if I'm correct. Yes. All right, everyone, please vote for the best speaker, just give me a second. I'm floating the link in the club's Zoom, and also in the Zoom chat box. So everyone, please vote. And in the meanwhile, let us announce the next session.
It's my pleasure to announce the next session of the evening, the Table Topics session. Table Topics is an exciting and interactive part of the Toastmasters meeting, where participants are called upon to give impromptu speeches on a given theme. In this session, the theme is Rise of the Machines, and the Table Topics master is Toastmaster Rabia Zishan. Speeches during this session are typically 1 to 2 minutes in length and offer the opportunity for participants to practice their impromptu speaking skills, think on their feet, and build their confidence. It's a great opportunity to showcase creativity, wit, and the ability to adapt to new challenges. So, get ready for a fun and engaging session as we explore the rise of the machines and hear some thought-provoking and entertaining impromptu speeches. Let's give a big round of applause to Toastmaster Rabia Zisham, the Table Topics Master.
Thank you. Thank you, ChatGPT, for that amazing introduction and to explain what table topics are all about. So you all must be expecting a table topic based on the rise of machines, AI, and the computer geeks are all very excited for the table topics. But there is an iota of twist in my table topics today. I would challenge all the speakers today to imagine a world where everyone has turned into a machine. But where is the twist in it? Because that is what you were talking about, rise of machine. The twist is these are not the AI or the very computer-oriented machines. These are the daily usage household items and the machines that we use at home or at our office. So for example, the speaker can identify himself as a washing machine or a juicer or a blender or even an iron or a telephone. That's up to you. For an example, just to explain, I would like to give a small few sentences of what I would be if the world turned into a machine full of machine. I would choose the iron. And you have to explain the reason as well. So I'm giving the example just to make it very clear for the guests who are attending today. What would you do if you become a machine in everyday life, and why would you choose it? Which quality of that machine or which attributes of that machine you want to take on? So I would become the iron because I want to really straighten out entire people. I want to straighten out their pathways. I want to make their thinking clear. Some of them may need a little of water spray because they are very hard and very egoistic, and I may need to fire up till the maximum zone. But some people are very easy and very humble. They might only need a very small for my iron to be, and maybe they do not even need the water. And some do not even need the iron because they are very flexible. There are some clothes which you do not need to iron. So if the world changed into a machine and I had to choose one machine, I would be the iron. I hope you all get what we are doing today. So to challenge, my first speaker would be today, Toastmaster Fahim Razak, who is not doing any speech today. Where are you?
Yeah, I'm not doing anything in fact.
So Toastmaster Fahim Razak, which machine would you choose to be and why? Which attribute of that machine do you think you would choose?
Thank you, TM Rabia. I think I would probably choose a kettle for two reasons. I have used it already 3 times today, and it's right in front of me. Why would I choose it though? I think it just makes life easier. If I have to make a tea or a coffee, and I will be the first to admit that I've never made it on a saucepan. I once made it and it was a disaster. So I think it just makes the life easier so much. I don't have to depend on anyone. But one problem I do have with kettle is you can't leave the water in there, and it requires some effort. So for example, if you leave the water for a few days in the kettle, the lime scales build up and it's really hard to take it off. So that's my reason for being a kettle. Makes life easier, makes it smooth. The tea is not as good, the coffee is not as great, but it gets you by for the day. That's over to you, Rabia.
Okay. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Fahim Razak. That was an interesting attributes that you found out from the kettle. Great job. Next, I would like to challenge DTM Ahmed. Are you still with us?
Yes, he is.
So DTM Ahmed, which machine would you choose and why would you be?
Well, that's a difficult question, but this is a question thrown at me, so I will catch the question. And I would like to be a robot. Why? Because in Pakistan, everything is so expensive. Being human is very difficult. Everything is getting so expensive. You want to eat something, the wheat is expensive. Everything is going out of control, especially dollar, no exports, no imports. So I think in this time, the best thing to be is to be a robot, no emotions, no expectations, no feelings, even whatever is happening here. I won't, give a damn about it because I am a robot. So I want to be a robot. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was superb and hilarious, and it really livened up the atmosphere here at Beach Luxury. Thank you so much for that. Sorry to the first two speakers. I forgot to remind you the word of the day, which is iota. Please, the future speakers, please try to use them in your speeches.
And I am iota. Thank you.
Okay. Do we have
iota.
All right. Yeah, we do have Ricky Su.
Ricky Su is there?
Wait a minute, we just had.
Yes.
I don't know.
Is he there?
No, actually, right now he's not there.
He's not there. Okay, so then we move on and we'll call our guest, Daniel Tariq.
Yeah.
So Daniel Tariq, you have to speak for a minimum of 1 minute and a maximum of 2 minutes, 30 seconds. You can speak any length you want. And the word of the day is iota. Which machine would you want to be and why?
Yes. Hey guys, my name is Daniel, and if I wanted to be a machine, I would be Alexa. Because if I need something, I would be Alexa in someone's house. I would be telling them the time, and telling them the calendar, telling them to get to work early, telling them to reminding them of their wife's birthday, and
that doesn't.
Yeah, might be. I would be a useful product for their house because I would be reminding them for their anniversary, children's important occasions and everything. So basically, Alexa has many uses. If you seems to be wondering what is it about, the machine is amazing. The algorithm they have in that small round machine is out of this world. Yeah, and I would basically prefer everyone to be preferring me in their if I was an Alexa machine. Yes.
My table topics are getting out to be far more than what I expected. I'm getting to know so much more about the machine and the attributes that people associate with those machines. Next, I would like to call guest Rafiullah, please. Welcome to KTC. So, yes, Rafiullah, the word of the day today is iota, which means small, very insignificant. You may use it if you want to. We highly encourage that people use iota.
Alvin is listening.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which machine would you want to? And why? What attributes do that machine attract you?
First of all, thank you so much. And Assalamu alaikum. As you introduced me, this is Rafiullah. So I would be, I'm a mobile cell phone. It is very significant and no one in this era can't, I think, survive without it, particularly smartphone. So as it helps students, it helps a businessman, it helps, there is no profession which can survive without the need of cell phone. So, and it also make you busy when you are alone. Maybe when you don't have anybody and you want to be happy and you want to enjoy yourself. So there are many options. And if you are emotional and you want to listen some emotional songs, and sometimes you want to be very encourageable yourself when no one encourage you. So, and that time you can also use emotional speeches, songs, national songs.
A big round of applause to the two guests. Amazing, amazing job done. And I think both of them want to be in command and in everyone's life. One wants to be Alexa and one wants to be the mobile. Toastmaster Asghar.
Yeah.
Hello. I would really, really love to know which machine would you want to be? The word of the day is iota because you always bring something new.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Well, actually, I wanted to be a CCTV camera connected with the Alexa. And I wanted to be a type of the camera which can tell us when my mother-in-law leaves her home towards morning. And I want Alexa to tell me where exactly she is in a particular time. And when she and the distance between her home while counting her steps and estimated time for her to knocking my door. This is what I wanted to be. Secondly, I wanted to be, I want to be a CCTV camera because I want to see everybody, everyone, and I want no one to see me. Finally, I want to be a CCTV camera because camera doesn't lie. It shows exactly what is happening. And when you see something and that something or somebody doesn't see you, you will be in a controlling position, in a driving seat to take your decision. I just want to be in that seat. Over to you, table topic master.
Trust Toastmaster Asghar to bring a new perspective to any table topics and to manage to bring his mother-in-law in every speech. You can always trust him to do that. Do we have Toastmaster Noodle Land with us?
Yes, she is there.
She's there. Toastmaster Noodle Land. Which machine would you want to be and why? Word of the day is iota.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
I want to be a selected machine, a printing machine. Nowadays, inflation, increasing inflation. So I want to print $1, $1 trillion to purchase everything. And nowadays in Pakistan, no export, no import, and every person is stuck to start a business, start. And that enough.
Okay.
Great.
Great job, Pastor Ruben. And yes, wouldn't we all want to be able to print money? That was a great take on the machines. I think that's enough from my side because we are way over time. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day, ChatGPT.
All right. Thank you so much. And before letting anyone that someone is over time, please cast your mind back to the moment when you walked in this meeting and what the clock was saying back then. So, all right. So now it's time for our next session, and let's see what ChatGPT says about that.
The general evaluation session is an important part of the Toastmasters meeting where members evaluate each other's speeches and provide feedback for improvement. The general evaluator, in this case Toastmaster Amer Ahmed, is responsible for overseeing and coordinating the evaluation session. The components of the general evaluation session are: Introduction. Toastmaster Amer Ahmed introduces the evaluation session, provides a brief overview of the purpose of evaluations, and explains the process for the evening. Duration, 1 to 2 minutes. Evaluations. Several members provide evaluations of the speeches delivered in the meeting. Each evaluation typically lasts 3 to 4 minutes. Grammarian report. The grammarian provides a report on the use of language in the meeting, including the correct use of grammar and vocabulary. Duration, 1 to 2 minutes. Counter report. The counter reports on the use of filler words, such as amora, during the meeting. Duration, 1 to 2 minutes. Table topics evaluate. The table topics evaluator evaluates the topics session, providing feedback on the responses and the overall flow of the session. Duration, 1 to 2 minutes. Wrap up. Toastmaster Amer Ahmed summarizes the evaluations and provides overall feedback on the meeting. He also thanks the evaluators and provides any closing remarks. Duration, 2 to 3 minutes. The general evaluation session is an important part of the Toastmasters meeting as it provides a platform for members to receive feedback and improve their speaking and leadership skills.
All right. That's all right. If you feel like it, you can come up the stage.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Umar Ahmed. I am the general evaluator of the evening. The Toastmasters give speeches and they perform many things. They tell about their stories. They tell their icebreakers and all these things, but they don't know where they are lacking and what are the problems that they have faced. So the evaluation is the main process which gives you understanding that where you are lacking and what are the areas that you have to work on to become a good speaker. So let's start the evaluation process. I'm sorry that I don't have the updated agenda.
You should have though. I mean, this is the updated. So
this is the final.
Yeah, the final one. Yeah.
Okay. The first speech was from Faizan Zafar.
Yeah.
The last name I cannot.
Mahesh.
Okay, fine. And his evaluator is Mudaffal Murtaza. So I would like to Thank you very much, General Evaluator, for the introduction and the opportunity. My target speaker was Toastmaster Faizan, and what a wonderful speech. You just came by over here and you started casually with a beautiful smile and you got our attention. You started to talk about habits. You told that why habits are so important for successful people, what they do in order to become a successful people. They
adopt good habits. And I really like that the first instance that you made as clear what habits are and how important are they for us. Then you moved on to some examples. You gave the definition, you moved on to some examples that why habits are so important. You talked about people dressing themselves appropriately, they make a different impact. When you walk into an environment with a good dressing, you have a different impact on the public, and when you don't do that, you have a different impact. Similarly, you talked about some examples of using a mouse versus using shortcuts. So I really like that you gave multiple examples in order to explain your agenda clearly. Then you also talked about sports person, that they even sometimes they don't know that they have stretched their abilities to a next level, but they don't know how they are doing. But at the end of the day, it's good habits which make them do that. The third part of your speech was really interesting, where you moved to your own journey, own life. And I really like that you divided your whole age into 3 segments, and you evaluated each segments at your own end. That was really wonderful that you talked about 5 to 13, then 13 to 21, and then 21 to 29, where you talked about your own challenges. You were introvert, you had family pressures, there was difficulty in examinations, you were struggling in sports. I really like that. And you talked about work-life balance, you had trust issues. The best part of your speech was that you were accepting your problem. You were accepting your struggle. And at the same time, you were letting us know how you improved yourself by improving your habits. So that was a very nice passage which we got. And I would really like to thank you in that. I really liked your hand movements. Your hand movements, you were really confident in your speech. You were fluent. There was no filler words, anything like that. And your body language was also appropriate. Just some areas of improvement that if you had added a bit of vocal variety into your speech, that would have added more value to your speech. There was a stage movement was, I felt that if you would have used more movement towards the stage, moving left and right, making some more movements would have added more value to that. And third, that you were looking at only one direction. If you would have looked all over the audience, you would have delivered your message more effective. All in all, I really like your message. You talked about habits, gave us example, turned into your personal life story. Just a bit of areas of improvement of vocal variety, stage movement, and eye contact. That's all from my side. Over to you, General Valerie.
Many thanks for your great evaluation. The next speaker was Alvin Faraz, and his evaluation was done by me. So I'll start my evaluation. Alvin Faraz, you are a great speaker, as always, and I have enjoyed thoroughly what you have been telling us about English. You have just broken the iota of belief that anyone could have that English is hard. English is, you have presented it like it's so easy to understand and so easy to talk. You have just excelled in every corner. For example, you have divided the speech very eloquently between in 3 parts, that what you will be telling people around, that what your speech will be, the first part, the second part, or the third part. And also you have engaged the audience by asking relevant things, that do you know this, do you know that, and you have used the computer also very correctly, that you have used it, and you have make sure that the font is legible to people that who are seeing that presentation. You also engaged humor very beautifully, and I have thoroughly enjoyed that. And because of that, your speech was so much engaging. I was so much carried away with that. So I was not giving that thought that I should be evaluating you. But then I got up and I thought, okay, that I have to do the evaluation. So I jotted down some important points. You have been using computer great, and also the clarity was amazing. Your eye contact was good, but as you know, with as you were on the computer and you were on camera, so I couldn't understand your eye contact was there or not, because you were just staring at the camera. So it's quite a physical thing that when you are physically here, we can understand your eye contact also. The gestures were good, and your audience awareness was also great. And your comfort level is always amazing. You have been a great speaker, as always. The only negative thing, two things, in fact, was that you are not available here at Toastmasters. So I think you should be here more often. More often? No, always. Second thing is that vocal variety. You were trying to modulate your voice. However, the voice was not that much up and down. So it was a little bit monotonous. But however, I'm sure that you can do it much more better. And I do know that you are the great speaker as always. So that's all from my side. And thank you so much. The next speaker was Rabia Zishan, and his evaluator was Talha bin Hamid. Is Talha bin Hamid. So I would like to welcome Talha bin Hamid for his evaluation.
Thank you so much. Toastmaster evaluation. You started, and then you took us on a roller coaster. The roller coaster gained speed. It rose higher and higher and higher and higher, and we all screamed with joy. And suddenly, you brought us all down, and we were all plunged into the sadness of life, because that's how cruel your ending was. You had an amazing start to the speech. Who doesn't like roller coasters? Most of us pretend that we love them, but only one person ever dare to climb atop them. But who's auditing that, right? So roller coasters or train rides is something that makes us all instantly nostalgic, especially train rides, and you use that to perfection. You painted a picture of your childhood, and you took us on several virtual train rides and roller coaster rides. And the best part was no TCF school in sight. And you displayed some extra vocal variety today and voice modulation, as was the requirement of the project. So I clearly felt that your vocal variety, your expression was more in par with what we see in foreign clubs and native speakers. So you made a conscious effort to do that, and it really worked. It could have been even better, but it really worked. We'll get to that later. And finally, the melancholy, sad ending that, no matter how high you are, there's always a plunge waiting you. But you forgot to tell us that there's a thrill even in that plunge. And then there's always another rise after that plunge. So yeah, that's what I'm saying to make myself feel better. Now, a few improvement areas. First of all, unlike the requirement of the project, there was not much movement to you. And I know we all suffer from it. Even I'm not doing as much movement as I should, because we are subconsciously conscious of the camera and staying within the frame. But let me tell you that it provides us with quite a lot of room to move, as I'm just learning. Secondly, few stumbles here and there. Your flow could have been a little bit better. And thirdly, you had the opportunity to use even more passion and expression. For example, when you said 240 kilometers per hour, that's not a speed that you travel on a daily basis. So you could have added some real oomph to it. And that is where my major improvement areas come, that when you are going along with the roller coaster to the very top, you should have gone to the top. rather than just curtailing yourself at the last moment, because that's what we are accustomed to do in our society. We are not trained to let ourselves completely go. And you could have done that. So overall, absolutely fantastic speech. You fulfilled the project objective. You made us nostalgic. You displayed vocal variety and body language. Only improvement areas is you could have let yourself completely go and own it all. Over to you, General Secretary.
I just forward. I am the general driver. The next speaker is. I'm sorry, I cannot pronounce.
Raghunath.
Raghu.
Yeah, Raghunath Raju.
And his evaluator is TM Alvin Faraz. So I would like to invite TM Alvin if he is online.
Yes, he's online.
Please.
Thank you so much, General Evaluator. First of all, if you know me, evaluator is not my cup of tea. I have never selected to become an evaluator on purpose, but again, this dharma responsibility has been given to me. I will try to do my best. So here I am here to evaluate DTM Raghunandan Raju, and now we all understand why he was given the title of the DTM. The information that he gave was simply amazing. He showed humor and humility. His positivity was incorporated into the message very nicely. Again, the strategies that he delivered, even he talked about when to deliver certain speeches. So if someone is seeking to find out what are the best advantages, what are the advantages of Toastmaster Club, he should have listened to the speech given by Raghunandan Raju today. He catered all those people who think that, Toastmaster is something that is not good or monotonous. He gave every kind of advantage of becoming a member of the Toastmaster Club. He talked about the leadership skills. He talked about the development in language and public speaking skills. So everything was amazing. Moreover, I'm a huge fan of a captivating PPT, and his PowerPoint presentation was simply amazing. But again, see, some of the things are always there. We are not Chat GPT, so we have some kind of weaknesses that we need to work on. And if the DTM does not feel bad, I would want to share that. So I kind of found an Achilles heel today while he was presenting that. So, and that is the pronunciation, especially a certain pattern I was able to see. See, when you say the words which end on OW, now, allow, see, try to open up a little, wider mouth. So try to open up your mouth a little, more than usual. So when, step number 2, when you're pronouncing these words, try to write the similar words like a tongue twister. And you can say how, now, brown, how. So when you do that, you will be able to target that specific area speaking. Secondly, I know it's a tiring day. Probably the energy started off really, really nicely, but towards the end of the speech, it kind of fell down. So we need to work on that. I kind of feel, I could feel that you were a little tired. So work on that a little bit. Other than that, you handled the word procrastination very nicely. You ended with a powerful theme. You ended with a couple of rhetorical questions. So that was beautifully, beautifully done. Thank you so much for this wonderful speech. Back to you, sir.
Thank you, Alvin. The next speech was delivered by Mr. TM Vishan Aziz, and his evaluator is TM Ravi Azishan. I would like to welcome.
Okay, I have to. Thank you, my general evaluator. Toastmaster Vishan Aziz. Hello. Okay, you're right. Amazing opening of the speech. I really loved the way you started your speech, and you also took the time to explain your company, which you were talking about, your employer, so that all of us who were listening could relate to what you will say in the other part of your speech. So that was a very good way to make everyone feel, you can say, easy, and I'm not getting the right word, so skip it. So, Toastmaster Vishan, you have amazing confidence, and the construction of your content was superb. The transitions that you took from your opening to your body towards your conclusion, they were smooth and they were very fine. And I really loved the way that you very subtly just transitioned into the from the main to the body part. So that was really amazing. And the cherry on the top, you somehow always manage to bring humor in your speeches, even if it's not a topic in which we can bring humor. You try to bring in humor and make the audience laugh and get them vibrant again. Your speaking style is very natural. You are very confident and you use your hand gestures as well very confidently, and it's very natural to you. When you are speaking, you use your hand gestures very naturally. So that's a very good plus point that you have. I would like you to challenge yourself in the area of vocal variety. Because although you are a very great speaker and you have that natural connection with the audience, with your topic and speeches, the flow, the tone of your speech, the tone of your voice throughout the speech is always at one pace. So just to challenge yourself, although we do like the way you speak because it's a natural style, but in future speeches, just to challenge yourself, why not bring more vocal variety? Why not try to slow your voice down? And why not reach the heights that DTM Tala was just talking about? I know every one of us have a little pressure to use those, but just to challenge yourself. So all in all, it was an amazing speech. The content was superb, and it was it adhered to the project's description as well. You had amazing confidence, hand gestures. You bring in humor, which is always likable and loved by the audience. Just for your next speeches, try to challenge on more vocal variety and more emotions. Back to you, Chandra.
Thank you so much, Team Rabia. Next speaker was Mufaddal Murtaza, and his evaluator is DTM Raghu Dada Raju. And I'd like to invite him to evaluate Ms. TM Mufaddal Murtaza. Don't mind.
Yeah. DTM Raghu, are you there? DTM Raghu, it's your turn to evaluate. All right, maybe he's away, so we can move to the next.
Okay, the next speaker was TM Amber Al Rashid, and her evaluator is TM Vishan Aziz, and I would like to invite him on the stage.
Okay, so thank you, General Evaluator. So I had the pleasure of evaluating an icebreaker speech by our new Toastmaster, Amber Al Rashid. So what really caught my ear was I was actually born in the same city as you. So there was an instant connection. Thanks for bringing that in. So I think I missed you in the previous meeting because you said everyone already knows you introduced yourself already, but you still introduced yourself, and I think I was caught up to speed with whatever I had missed in the past. So I thought that was good in case someone else wasn't here. So that was good. Your speech as an icebreaker, you introduced yourself, and then you talked about, you brought in humor about your Nanyal's family size. Mine is also very similar, 11. But then you also, I like that you highlighted the privilege of being multicultural, which often gets overlooked by some people. So that was nice to hear. And I was also in a very similar setting some years ago, many years ago. But again, it was nice to hear that, from someone else, because these are dialogues that I have in my head, but it was nice to hear someone else also experience this thing. So I thought your use of hand gestures was very natural, much more than mine. Mine are like, after coming here for more than a year, I've been told, don't stand like this or don't do this. So slowly, I've been doing more things. But in your case, from the day one, the first speech, they were like very fluid. And part I'm very jealous of it, but in some part I'm very respect for that. It's very good for that. I also noticed like when you talked about your cousin, you pointed like he pointed at me, and suddenly it's not. If you had done this way, which I would have done, it wouldn't look as natural as pointed. Like you can just see another cousin, male or female, like point to this person on the side, right? So I thought that was really good. All in all, it was quite good. You used the stage a lot. Left, right, up and down. It was all well used. Unlike some people, myself. Some suggestions I thought, just a simple suggestion I thought would be to club your details together, like bring them all together. Because at one point I found you talking about your family, and then you talked about something else, then you went back to the family. Now I don't know if that was because you weren't going with the paper or whatever reason it was, but I thought if you had clubbed it together, it would have been nicer. And similarly, when you discussed your work and education, it was the same, that you talked about something else, and then you came back to it. So I think for the progression or whatever you want to call it, graph or whatever you want to call it, it's just more smooth if you club in the details together. But anyways, as an icebreaker, it was great, and I'm sure there will be many more in the future. So good luck to you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your evaluation. I would like to ask if DTM Raghunatha is available online.
DTM Raghu, are you there? Are you? Yeah. Are you?
Okay.
Yeah. He's there.
Raghunatha will be evaluating Mufaddal Murtaza, so I'd like to call DTM Raghunatha to evaluate Mufaddal Murtaza.
I'm sorry, I was not even aware that I was evaluating.
Oh, apologies
I didn't
for
have
that.
even. Yeah.
Apologies for that. Actually, I did not message you specifically. I just trusted that you would see the agenda. But all right, maybe if you listen to the speech, you can provide an evaluation later. Is that okay?
Yeah, I'll go to the recording and then give the evaluation.
All right, that's perfect, sir. That's perfect. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
You're mute.
It's muted.
Sorry. Yeah. All right.
Okay. All evaluations are done, and I would like all of you to vote for the best evaluator, and Talabin Hamid will be floating the vote.
Yes. So
Just a moment.
Floating the poll, everyone, please vote for best evaluator. Meanwhile, you can move.
Okay. The next is the evaluation of table topics. And the table topic master was Rabia Zishan, and the evaluation of table topics is TM Saad Amin. Yes. He is online.
Yes. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay, great. So Toastmasters Rabia, wonderful topic. I think immediately you're reminded of the movie I, Robot, and you know what comes with the environment in which everything is controlled by machines. So the first speaker was Toastmaster Fahim Rasak, who wanted to be a kettle. I think wonderfully done. Yeah, so you were confident. You had those hand gestures. We couldn't see your full body, but I think the way you handled the topic was excellent. You picked up something that was right in front of you. You had used it 3 times. You could easily connect with the object, and I think in terms of the content of your speech, it's always great to hear you speak. The second speaker was DTM Ahmed, who wanted to be a robot. And I think you'll be a wonderful robot. The way you were talking, your vocal variety, immediately you got our attention. Right? And I think we did, just like a machine, we didn't see an iota of emotion or feeling. So you were wonderful. It's just believability of being a robot. I think you did a very good job. The third speaker was guest Daniel. You were very confident. Yeah, you wanted to be Alexa. I have to confess, I didn't know what Alexa was. So immediately I went and Googled it up. So definitely a good thing to be. I think you had your hand gestures. I think you'll be a wonderful speaker. You had that confidence when you were standing there, because I remember my time. It's always a very nervous feeling when you're delivering table topics. I really look forward to hearing more speeches from you. So wonderful job. Guest Saifullah, again, very confident. You came, you stood, you had your hand gestures, and what better than to pick a mobile phone? Yeah, everyone could relate to it.
Yeah.
I'm currently talking to a mobile phone, so I can, everyone could relate to it. You're very confident, and I think once you become a permanent member, we really look forward to hearing more speeches from you. And I think one thing which usually I think discourages you, put your hands like this rather than this. I think that brings in more confidence in the speech. Then it was Toastmaster Asar, as usual. It's a treat to hear. And then he wanted to be a CCTV camera connected to Alexa. And now that I know what Alexa is, I can really understand why he bought his mother-in-law. But then again, it's always wonderful to hear Toastmasters that and the wonderful humor he brings in his speeches. The last table topic was by Toastmaster Nurulan. And I think of all the speeches, I like this idea the best. What better to be a dollar printing machine? I think wonderful idea. Would have loved to hear more from Toastmaster Nurulan. But I think next time you could utilize the full time that's given, and maybe you can turn on your camera. I think that brings more connectivity in terms of the speaker and the audience. With that, over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Saad, for your evaluation. That was great. Now, should I vote for
No, facilitators.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I would like all of you to vote for the best facilitator and
No. First, invite them.
Invite them.
And then,
Sorry.
yeah.
It's been
Don't blame you.
Okay. I'd like to invite first the grammarian Alan Faraz for his report.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, General Evaluator. Now, today I have had a very busy day. And if my report goes a little longer, please do not mind that. First of all, let me give you some amazing usages. First of all, we have the word of the day, and almost everyone used that very nicely. Kudos and hats off to the Chat GPT because it managed to use it 2 times. Yeah, I'm saying all good things about Chat GPT because when the rise comes and we are the subjects, they would go easy on me, right? So moving on, we have DTM Raghu, Mufaddal, Amber, Mariam, Ahmed Abdullah with his robot voice, the General Evaluator. Almost everyone used that. TM Mariam was amazingly good with her speech. Her words like upside down and ups and downs in life, phenomenal. Descriptive words were very nicely used in her particular speech. Her command over the descriptive words and adjectives specifically was amazing. Then Mufaddal was the star of the day in terms of grammar. He used amazing vocabulary today. Glossophobia, highlighting that very nicely. And then he kind of created a personification of glossophobia. Like glossophobia is not a disease. It is kind of like, a girlfriend that is talking to him right now. That don't go, stay with me here. What would you do there? That was very nice. And the usage of idioms was really amazing. Arm's length, cherry on the top, breakfast to the champion. Evaluation is like breakfast to the champions. That was very good. Better version of yourself. Humor was full on in his particular speech. Bottom of the heart, that was used very nicely. Paradigm shift is another example. And the metaphor that he used for Toastmaster as a drama, that was very nice. Vishan was very good with his fluency. His story was introduced with a great, great essence of humility and humbleness. There was one specific thing that I was able to notice today. The verbosity in Chat GPT was very much there, because when when DTM Raghu was about to speak, he kind of waited, and his expression was his expressions were sharing so many things, so many stories. And then DTM Amber got up to deliver her speech, and then she sat again because Chat GPT was still talking. When she came up, she used very nice nouns, dozens of kids, cricket team. She was able to manage the humor very nicely. Pigment of lipstick was very nicely used. She took us on a spiritual journey as well. She used words like karmas and chakras. So very nicely done. There were a little bit of grammar mistakes there, but the only thing that I really want to point out right now is the use of pronouns, ladies and gentlemen. Focus on that. We all know, I need to see you when I say that. We all know that TM Rabia is a very nice, good-looking lady, pretty lady. She is not a him. So her evaluator, not his evaluator. Try to remember that on the next time. And that is all from my side. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much, Albert, for your amazing amazing report.
Yeah.
Next is timer, Faizan Zafar. I would like to
just give you a
remote and give us the report on the time.
I'm time evaluator, and everyone completes the speech within time, and I have to explain every time.
It's entirely up to you. It's entirely up to you.
I have done take 15 minutes more than the that time. I even passed almost 2 tests. Labia, Zishan, take a 6 or 30 minutes, and Labuda Baju take a 28.15 minutes, and Fatal take 10 minutes and 15 seconds, and Nishan take a 4 and 15 seconds out of 4, and Amber take a 5 and 50 minutes out of 6, and Table Talk also is the time, and Table Talk Shaheen take a 1.5 minute, and Abdullah take a 1.5 minute, Daniel 1.25, and Fiullah 1.5, Asghar 1.5, and then 30 seconds. And evaluators and further take a 2.5 minutes, and Talha Nazim take a 3 minutes, and Erin Fast taken 2.25, Rabia for Nishan evaluator take 3 minutes, and Nishan Founder take a 2.25. It's in.
Great.
Okay, thank you, TM Faizan Zafar, for your report. I would like to call our counter, TM Musa, for his report.
Thank you, General as I have noticed, there was not too much use filler sound for words, and there are quite few. Starting from Toastmaster Faizan Zafar, he used filler sound. Oh, sorry, Faizan. You used 9 times hours, and Toastmaster Alvin Paz used filler words so 3 times. And in his evaluation award facilitation role, he used 5 times pass. Toastmaster Rabia Zishan didn't use any R. He didn't use any R or any filler sound. Toastmaster Mufaddil used 2 times pass, and Toastmaster Amber used 5 times pass and 3 times filler word and Toastmaster Saad used 4 times hours. That's from
Oh, great.
Thanks so much, Team Musa, for your report. There's
There's no listener today.
Listener. You're all listening. Well.
Yeah.
And there's no vote. Okay, fine. So I would like to call for voting about the best facilitator.
Yeah, I
And
floated the
Ahmed
poll.
will be-
Yeah.
Has already floated it. Okay, now it's my time to evaluate the whole meeting.
Yes.
The meeting started a little bit late, 15 minutes late, and we are managing to, no, not managing to end up in time. Anyway, we try to start in time and well, that's only 15 minutes late. And even though there were lots of speakers and there was great table topic, so we are not so much away from ending time. The second thing is Toastmaster table topic was amazing and it was so much hilarious.
Yeah.
And we thoroughly enjoyed every bit of it. Talabin Hamid has introduced everyone and he has also called all the guests to introduce themselves to the meeting. And the whole meeting was amazing, and I think it really gave us very good vibes after so much hectic time that we have at office, and we have been doing many things at office, and we have been slammed by our bosses, sometimes slammed by LCs, and we have to open it and we don't have to open it, and it's been so much tiring day. And after that, we came here and we have enjoyed a lot. That was amazing, and I think and thanks to all and every participant who has participated in this meeting, and I'm thankful to everyone who has come here in person, and I'm thankful to everyone who has been online, and I would like to urge everyone who is residing in Karachi to come and join us in the Rapid Beach Luxury Hotel. So at the end, I would like to call for voting for Big Four, and should I call for?
Yeah.
And Talabin Hamid is be floating the voting.
Yes.
List.
So everyone, ChatGPT has one last message to give.
Okay.
In the meantime, please vote for the best Big Four. The sooner you vote, the sooner the meeting will be over.
Yeah, I think it's for the general evaluators.
Today's meeting is a long but rich one, with a lot of engaging speeches, evaluations, and reports. We had the privilege of listening to some truly inspiring and thought-provoking speeches from our members. The use of AI as a host for the Toastmasters meeting was a new and innovative experience, and it proved to be very efficient in keeping track of the time and providing visual cues for the speakers. Best Big Four Awards. It's time for us to vote for the best among the Toastmaster of the Day, Table Topics Master, Table Topics Evaluator, and General Evaluator. Please take a moment to reflect on their performances and choose the one who made the biggest impact on you. Handing the charge back to the president of the club, and with that, I would like to hand the charge back to our beloved president of the club, who will guide us through the rest of the meeting. Thank you all for your participation in making this a memorable meeting.
Yeah. So yeah, first of all, promise that I did not ask it to add beloved. And secondly, I'm not the president. So if anything, this is a tribute to Toastmaster Hibaris. So everyone, please vote quickly. I've apparently floated the wrong poll for Best Big Four. Please vote quickly so that we can wind up the meeting. And today, actually, we started 20 minutes late. And that is also reflecting in the time that we are ending. But at the same time, I must say that given that we had 2 keynote speeches and 1 reflect on your path and 4 other speeches and a full roster of table topics, this is not too bad. So thank you, everyone. And of course, this was, I believe, the world's first meeting run by AI. And the biggest lesson is that, especially as we speak right now, AI is great. It did some amazing and wonderful things, as you all saw, but cannot do so without being prompted.
Yes.
It needs a prompt. You need to tell it to what to do. So just going through first the critics' choice results, and the results have been received. So the critics' choice is actually a critical, rather a qualitative evaluation of the speeches with respect to the International Speech Contest ballot. So some very interesting results because many of the speakers scored very close marks, and the critic had to they had trouble actually making a distinction. So they had to break a tie in the top three. So the third place today goes to Toastmaster Elvin Faraz for his absolutely phenomenal English lesson. The first of two English lessons that he delivered today. So the second place goes to sorry, get the score here, and yeah. The second place goes to Toastmaster Rabia Zishan for her role. And first place goes to Toastmaster Mufaddal Murtaza. Now moving on to the polling results. And all right. So first, the best, just give me a second. Best speaker goes to, oh my God, there's a tie, three-way tie, and I'm not breaking it. Wow. So, yeah, the three-way tie is between Toastmaster Elvin Faraz, Toastmaster Mufaddal Murtaza, and DTM Raghu. Congratulations. Wow. Best prepared speech evaluation, shock and horror goes to me again. I don't know what has gotten into you guys. I mean, seriously, it's me. You're voting for me. Come on, wake up. All right. Best topics today in the biggest margin in the history of KDC. Yeah, goes to DTM Ahmed Abdullah.
The robot wins.
It's time that you actually made good on your promise and actually became a robot. Because clearly people want you to become a robot. Next we have, all right, best facilitator. And yeah, best facilitator goes to Toastmaster Elvin Faraz for his second grammar lesson of the day. So absolutely fantastic. And finally, vote for the best big four. All right. All right. And had GPT received the vote? But just one vote. And it goes to our table topics master, Toastmaster Rabia Zishan. Let me just say that, you know, not only, I mean, we saw some extraordinary speeches that reflect on your path. Toastmaster Elvin's English lesson and DTM Raghu's detailing of journey to DTM, which had no right to be as interesting and engaging as it was. So it was, and again, all the other speeches, Toastmaster Rabia's speech and Toastmaster Vishan's tribute, I believe, maybe by letting go of your plans, you know, you sounded so spontaneous and alive. So there's a lesson in it for all. Sometimes we are not liberated by what we write. Sometimes we are bound by what we write. And each and every speech, your icebreaker, your second speech, Toastmaster Faizan Zafar, despite the fact that you're at such an early stage, you tackled such a topic. And of course, our icebreaker, the second icebreaker, or is the first icebreaker because you spoke last week as well. But that was your second project. So absolutely phenomenal. But the table topics today, the topics given and the people, how they attended, it was seriously mind-blowing. One of the most fun table topics that we had in a very long time. Yes. And it also goes to prove that we do not necessarily need gimmicks or think out of the box in terms of format and everything to make table topics compelling. And we should consider a change or innovation only when it adds to the fun portion of the table topics. So with that, we will invite two of our guests, and we should give them gold medals today for their questions, for their comments. So please come on and give your comments.
Your feedback.
Yeah. And by the way, your table topics attend, both of you.
Yes,
were
because of me.
I think this is my second question around here.
Yeah.
And actually, I felt the comfort in the people's eyes right now. And I'm feeling the comfort in everyone's eyes.
Right.
And people are so welcoming here. And I think that I'm going to be adjusting here. I'm going to be all right here. So when Rabia called me, it was a moment of surprise, and I didn't know what to do. Just came up with a little talk that gave me a new spark of giving out speeches in a spontaneous way.
Yeah.
And I'm sure I'm going to be delivering speech better in next session. Yeah.
I don't know from which point I should start it, but let me tell you the very funny thing is initially when we came here and we sat there, so initially we were getting, but after a certain time, we are getting involved when Ma'am Rabia came here, then we kind of started our involvement in the session, then the other lady. So the first I would like to share my personal what I feel today, that when I was sitting there, so I enjoying a lot, and I also passing comments, writing some comments even for Ma'am Rabia and the other lady. And that time I also know make them notice that what are the drawbacks and what are your good points. And myself, right now I'm here. So I felt that it is very difficult. When you forgot your English, your own mother tongue. So I really appreciate all of you as you are now. Now I'm saying that you all are doing very good, very excellent. And this is very fruitful for us. Yes. And this is our need. We have to meet it, and we have to be what we can say, to be in touch with this activity in our real life, as we know that normally in offices, in our professional life, we don't have this such environment where we can what we can say, we can remove these legs. So this is a very good platform, not good, excellent platform. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you so much. And I recall both of you came last week too, right? And I sent you both messages. So and now expecting something to happen, but again, even if it doesn't, please keep attending. And you know, we would love to have you again and have you speak, because both of you did so amazingly well. Next, let's hear from our guest, DTM Ahmed Abdullah. Ahmed, what do you have to say? Yeah, that's how we trap guests.
But this time in the
Yes.
human voice, please.
Sure. Thank you. The meeting was amazing from the start till the end, and like each speaker was, you know, very captivating, and their speeches were, you know, amazing. I loved all the speakers. They did, you know, an amazing job, and the table topic session was very interesting. So from the moment I joined the meeting till now, I was, you know, fully invested into the meeting, and I loved every bit of it. And now I know why KTC is among the top 3 clubs in the world. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, DT and Anand. Let me tell you that we truly were delighted with your presence in the meeting today. And cherry on the cake was your table topic, of course. So, and KTC is one of the top clubs in the world, not only because of all that we saw, but also because it likes to vote for those who are not its members. As soon as they become members, then somehow the votes dry up. So yeah, here's a warning to you. So,
Sure.
but you know what? Like I wrapped that in a sarcastic note, but that is a note of admiration because our members never consider whether this person is a member or not while voting, and that is something to be proud of. Absolutely. So thank you so much, DT and Ahmed, and we look forward to having you in our meeting again. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And with that, I thank everyone for your patience, and Toastmaster Asghar, it is our sincere wish and prayer that your wish is granted and you have a CCTV that can track the moment of your... Oh, that's not the word. Toastmaster Asghar gave another label to that person in one of his speeches. Bete Noia. Yeah, Bete Noia. And Elvin would know what that means. So yeah. So thank you so much, everyone, and see you all